Hey guys, give me a second. I don't know what happened with the people that were coming in. I'm gonna check on them so we can hang for a few minutes. I can pretend to play the piano if you want me to, but I have two stories that I do want to share with you, whether the people who were involved in them come or not. I'm going to share these two stories with you, and we're gonna go on a slight bit of rant. I'm gonna let some of my rage out because I love all of you motherfuckers. I love all of you. I think I've proven that time and time and time again. Um, if I haven't, then I'm sorry. I guess I suck. But there's some shit going on that is going to come back on everybody. And then tit for tat is going to start. And well, we all know what happens when tit for tat starts. It never ends. It never fucking ends. Sometimes takes years for it to just die down. But if you like your channel, if you want to protect your channel from other people, like, contacting YouTube and lying and saying that your channel needs to be taken down for whatever reason, they know what to say to get your fucking shit taken down. And it's on false pretenses, and it takes you a full month to get your channel back. Oh, I see Lady Justice. You guys are gonna love this. This woman's amazing, and she knows her shit, and she makes me feel so not smart. She is amazing. Please welcome her, be good to her, love her. She's one of us. But anyway, so three people in this community went after a channel that belongs to the opposition. They went over there and harassed the person, did not like what the person was saying, and went ahead and got her whole channel, not the video took down, the whole channel is gone. Now, we're about freedom of speech, correct? And freedom of expression, freedom of religion, free press, free to protest, free to redress our government and bitch them the fuck out. Well, petition to redress our government. I don't get why that's in there like that. We should just be able to redress those sons of bitches without having to petition, but whatever. You believe in the First Amendment, most of us here do. The three people who did this, they not only say they believe in the First Amendment, they take money from their viewers based on the fact that they have something in common, like the First Amendment. They take money from ads based on the First Amendment. They throw a fit if they get silenced or muted, or they get not booted, but timed out for a minute, or their whatever gets deleted, their message gets deleted. They flip the fuck out. But then they turn around and go and do this. But they're all about the First Amendment. Ask yourself, do you think it is right? The retaliation is coming, and you know it is. How many innocent, good people who have busted their ass to get their channels to where they are today, whose channels are going to get taken down for, God knows how long. Some people will just give up and say, fuck it. And those people are some people who are doing some good. They're changing people's minds. They're changing the way the world works in a small way that will impact the next generation in a huge way. Do you want to take on this retaliation that's coming for these three people? Do you think what they did is right? Do you stand by what they did, or do you feel that they are fucking hypocrites? And I'm not saying any names, but y'all probably know already. If you don't, you'll find out soon just by asking around. But I'm not saying no names. You'll see. But do you agree with this shit? Or do you truly believe in the First Amendment? And do you truly support people expressing themselves and their opinions? And if you don't, and you want to stand by these people, cool, go for it. I don't care. I still love you. I think you're stupid, but I still love you. Just know that Eric went to prison for 12 fucking years for hopes, wishes, and prayers and thoughts. 12 fucking years, you guys. And these people are going to go over here and I don't like what you say. I disagree with you. And they're going to have that channel taken down right after Eric goes to prison. I don't know. It just feels fucking gross to me. It's like, here's some dog poop on top of your super gross sandwich. I am really trying to get to where I need to go, but I might have smoked a little bit of marijuana before, and I'm having issues, and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Yay, I did it. And actually, there should be a super mod in the thing. Is there a super mod here? Trump said, I fucking love you. Word 'em up. Fucking love you. You're amazing. Oh, Kato, you gorgeous, gorgeous person, you. Why is this all wonky? Okay, guys, where is she at? I seen her. Where'd her go? No, I got your email. I read about 2 lines of it, and then I got a phone call, and I haven't gotten back to it yet. I'm sorry. Oh, you put a user in timeout that I already had blocked. I fucking love it. Thank you. I can promise you that person is not a good person. Well, okay, in my opinion, they don't live up to my standards and morals and values, and so they're a bad person. I'm a hypocrite and a half, aren't I? Okay, I got you modded, Lady Justice. Is there anybody else here that needs this? There we go. Polly, you're so amazing. My JD. Rusty freaking bed springs. You know what? You were stabbing me in my back last night. You better stop that crap. You keep your rusty bed spring to yourself. Oh my goodness. Nope, it didn't work. Or no, it says you are. Okay. So I'm going to check over here really quick and see if my people are there. No, they are not. You dirty sons of bitches. Yeah. So one of the stories that we have today is, you guys probably already totally familiar with it. But Brittany, I should probably pull up the goddamn thingy. Hang on, give me 2 more seconds. I need to find somebody really quick. There, oh, he's still gone. Okay, fine. Oh, my imaginary boyfriend's online. Oh my god. Okay. Nova guy. Jen Wow, I love you. I love you a lot. I want you to know that. Jimmy, I love you a lot too. Can you be on your best behavior today, please? And now that I've said that, I know you're going to be a jackass. Be on your best behavior. Just do it. Okay, I'm going to play a tune, I guess, or try to. I haven't played anything in fucking... I haven't played nothing, you guys. Nothing. Oh. Hey, demon. Oh, what? Direct D arrested today. Who's that, you guys? I know I'm slacking with the newcomers and stuff. Who the hell's Direct D? Help me out. Because I don't know. Quit that! You guys are scaring me. Stop. That's not who it is. Oh, Lady Justice, you can actually use that exact same link to come back up if you want to come back up. I have to do this one thing that's really annoying. You might want to mute your sound. I have, well, even when I do practice a lot, I'm bad at this. I'm really bad at this. And I'm thinking what it is these guys have like some kind of side channel going where they can laugh at me. I've been bad. Come and spank me. That's what's going on. No, I had 2 people lined up to come up here, and they're not here. So I'm going to tell you their stories anyway, and maybe they will show up. I understand why they don't want to. One of them's just really, it's just fucking too goddamn emotional to get through, and I get it. I heard a back door. Yep, I did. Woohoo! Hey, lady.
Hey.
I am scatterbrained and fucking shit everywhere. Oh my god. You can swear as much as you want here because freedom of speech is to protect speech that people don't like.
Gotcha. If I need to drop a cuss word, I definitely will do that.
Right? I don't think I've ever heard you swear, or like they've been like baby swears, like not really like the 5 that you can say on TV. I maybe have heard you say those.
Yeah, I do swear. It's just not very often in public.
This ain't public. This is our house. Oh my goodness. I know that I have a tappy thing. So I had surgery like a few years back, and I don't know what happened during the surgery, but my brain doesn't work the same way. Like words don't come to my mind as easily as they did like just before surgery. Like on a whole nother level. Like I can be looking at my keyboard. Like I had to think, and I'm looking at it, and I would burst into tears because I didn't know what it was called. Like I knew what it was called, but I didn't know what it was called. And that's just like how it was really hardcore in the beginning. I really truly don't know what happened during surgery, but something fucking ain't right. And I'm still dealing with that effect, and it's frustrating at times. So if I get stuck on a word, or if I get to stuttering too much, feel free to just take over and shut me up. That's usually what my other people do when they're in here with me. Oh my god, it's already plugged in. Fuck my life. Okay, so I kind of, sort of am trying to teach myself how to play the piano. I'm really bad at it. You can totally mute whatever you want while I do this really quick, but it's a ritual, and I guess we're just going to do it. See, now, if age plays into it, it's going to get really bad. And like, no, I don't wanna. You can't make me. Fuck, I really don't want to. Oregon Rogue, my imaginary boyfriend that I tell everybody about. Good to see you. I am thinking that one song that's super old, I'm going to find that one and play that one because it's slow. I know the name of it. Where the hell is that? Rogue, did you move my shit around again? I told you not to touch my things. Oh, there it is. I found it. Still can't think of the name of the song, though. I guess I could play. I don't know if any of my Christians are in here or not. I have a group of Christians that whenever I talk about sex, they just go away. I try to warn them ahead of time because we talk about sexual health here a lot. Just because I think it's important, and it's probably just because I feel like I'm just deprived. And so, of course, I think it's important.
I definitely think that's a healthy discussion to have.
It is. And, well, I explained I can't believe how many older men had no clue about some stuff and some things. Like, they truly had no idea. And or they just wanted me to say that shit out loud to see if I would. And I did, because I'm not gonna like, if somebody doesn't know where the G spot is, I'm going to tell them where it is and exactly how to get to it and when to get to it. Like, this is how it's done. And I'm totally okay with it. I don't know. I'm just really glad that I had my avatar up and it wasn't my face, because my face was bright red talking about it. But damn it, everybody needs to know. That's so freaking important.
If I wasn't a brown person, yeah, my face would be bright red all
dude,
the time.
I bet you, hang out with me long enough, I could bet you'd turn red.
Okay.
My girlfriend, she's really, really dark, and I've gotten her to blush a time or two, and I'm just like, holy shit, and you are blushing. And that makes her blush even more. It's really cute. I love her.
My telltale is when I don't blush, but if I am embarrassed, I'll smile really big and then my eyes will get really squinty. And that's how people know I'm feeling a bit embarrassed.
Oh, that's really sweet. Now I know one of your tells. Don't worry, I won't tell anybody, but I can't promise you about the people in the chat. They're probably going to tell everyone. But I'll keep it our secret. For us and whoever's listening. Okay, I'm not sure if this is the right one or not, but I'm there. So I'm going to go ahead and fire this stupid thing up. And it is like a minute and a half long. That should be loud enough. Okay. Here we go. Oh, no. Nobody told you about the words I add to the songs. Okay, there's almost a song. Fuck you guys. I did awesome, and you know it. So the stories that we're dealing with, I'm going to pull up the videos, are Brittany's story, the one who got attacked in her driveway by the cop who was fucking around on his computer. We're going to start with that one, and hopefully she will come in while we're watching her video.
Okay, that sounds good.
I love watching videos anyway. Come on. There we go. So, the one that I want to watch is actually part of the news channel, I think. And it's because it shows something that you don't see in any of the others. And I think that it's important, even though it makes her look bad, understand that they were just words of hypothetical fucking context. They are not words of a threat or anything like that. It's just that she was shocked by the way she was being treated, and that it was okay for this cop to be treating her in this way. And then, right after that, she gets attacked. But it's not really shown in any of the other ones, and I think it's important to see. I really do. I think it's really important to see. Oh, God, not that one. Is that it? No, that's the one on her channel. I should have had the shit pulled up for you guys, but I got distracted, and then I got distracted, and then I got distracted. Is it this one? I don't know why, but I feel like it's 14 minutes long. No, I found it. Okay, I will share this, and then I will mute my voice so that you guys don't have to hear me talk to my dog and myself. Lacey R, I fucking love you. You're amazing. Amazing. Here we go. I suppose you guys want the audio, right?
Of the Jacksonville woman seen in this police body camera video is talking to us about the day JSO arrested her earlier this year at her East Side home.
And we must warn you, the video could be considered to be disturbing. News4Jax reporter Zach Lasway talks to Brittany Williams about what she says happened this day.
I was in the middle of applying my clay mask.
Brittany Williams' day of rest and relaxation,
I'll never forget,
was about to be over.
So I go outside and I say, "Hi, officer. Can I help you? How can I help you?"
A Jacksonville sheriff's officer was parked in her driveway, and she wanted to know why.
He just immediately started to just yell at me and tell me things like, I can be here if I want to, and just, this is a public lot, and things like that. That was just absolutely ridiculous. I'm like, I'm going to call for backup, And when I told him that, I was like, I'm going to call 911 to report you. He laughed at me and he was like, they're just going to call me anyway.
According to the arrest report, before Williams called JSO, the officer told her he backed into the driveway because he thought it was a vacant property and was just checking emails while traffic was backed up. The report goes on to say Williams told the officer to leave and then threw a spoon with an unknown green substance at him while he was sitting in the car.
Here they come.
4 more officers arrive.
Why is he here?
Why are you here? And why are y'all smirking? Baby,
No, stop. Please, stop. Please, bro, please. Man, that's my girl. Please, bro, don't take her to jail.
Now you're going to jail.
you're just mad because I'm a black girl?
No, because you battered a law enforcement officer.
I battered him? I kicked you!
Get in. Kick somebody else again.
Arrested and charged with battery and assault on an officer and resisting arrest.
She kicked me when I was inside. Go somewhere. Unless you want to be a witness to it.
The arrest report states while Williams was taken into custody, a semi-automatic pistol fell off her person and onto the floor.
I have a right to protect myself and have a weapon inside of my house. That was just a reason and an excuse for them to attack me. I also had, until recently because of this situation, a concealed weapons license. If I wanted to even carry it, I legally can do that.
Williams did let the officers know she had a gun before being taken into custody, according to the report.
They broke my teeth on the floor right there in front of the stairwell.
Looking at the video, there's a lot of empty space.
Alex Picaro is a criminologist and a professor at the University of Miami.
Did you see excessive force?
I saw a lot of force, yeah.
News4Jax crime and safety expert Ken Jefferson, a retired JSO officer with more than 24 years on the force, disagrees.
In this case, I didn't see any excessive force being done. They were trying to restrain her.
Do you think police acted in line with department protocol?
I can say that they did some things that were in line and some things that were probably a little too much.
They acted in line with department protocol as far as executing the arrest. They did not act in line with protocol of just leaving that area when asked to do so.
Altercations actually get worse as they go along. They don't get better. And that's what we saw here.
What's the obligation from the department after seeing this video?
I have always recommended to police chiefs and police departments to be in front of the story and to be as open and honest as you can at every step of the way.
This is all backed up over here.
Here's some of the conversation between the officers captured on police body camera video the day of the incident.
Why not? I'm out of the roadway.
Just be sure when you write your narrative, and there's no real examples on it. I did not activate my camera immediately because I was not anticipating citizen reaction.
Right.
I pulled over here real quick,
Williams says she was brought to this empty lot just yards away from her home. She says they were here for a period of time before they brought her to jail.
There's nothing illegal with that. The question is, was that appropriate?
Do you think race plays a factor in this case?
I don't know. Again, I don't know the mindset of the officer.
Why are you here? Okay. Why are y'all smirking?
It just did not have to go this far. Would an officer go to another type of neighborhood and sit in someone's driveway without permission? I can tell you the answer to that. And the answer is more than likely no.
JSO declined to comment as this is an active criminal investigation. We put in a request for the 911 call and the files on the 5 male officers involved in this case. We should mention Williams does not have a criminal record. She faces up to 10 years in prison for battery and assault on an officer and resisting arrest. Her attorneys say they believe after the state attorney's office reviews the evidence in the case, they will drop all charges against her. I'm Zach Lajway, Channel 4, the local station.
Brittany Williams and her husband say at the time of the incident, they were on edge because it was just 2 months to the day that Breonna Taylor, a black woman in Louisville, was shot and killed by police inside of her home.
Okay, so. God damn it, no, stop. Stop it. That one didn't show. I gotta find that. Guys, gotta see this one. I'm going to find this other one really quick. And you know what? The reason that Brittany hasn't been getting back to me is because I screwed up putting her number in my phone, and instead of putting like her name to her number, I put her name to King's Palace number. You know, handsome dude, good looking, like 12-year-old daughter. He's got like really long dreads. Like, I don't even know. My hair's never been that long. A man with hair that long just blows me away. It looks so pretty.
So can I just say, so this is the first time I've heard of this case and watched the video, but I'm confused with how the officers were supposed to have complied with the request to vacate the premises when they learned, or when at least that one officer learned that this property was had residents. They asked him to leave. He should have left. So how is the arrest protocol or proper protocol if they weren't supposed to be there? It doesn't seem like it was.
It doesn't. Yeah, 1 + 1 does not equal 2 with these people.
Yeah, I as I listen to that, I'm like, wait a minute. How can you be doing, if you're supposed to leave and comply with the request to get off the premises, then how is it that you're making an arrest? But not only that, it looked like he went into the home to get her. How can you get the property also without a warrant? So it just is very confusing to me, but it just doesn't seem like any of this is legitimate.
It's dude, it's not. And as soon as I find this other video here, you will see where he tells his superiors that and her sister that she had the gun on her and she was lifting it up to point it at him. Her gun was clear in the house up on the fire mantle. Okay, nowhere near the hallway where she was. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they knew that she had a concealed weapons permit, and you know, God forbid that a black lady have a concealed weapons permit. But these people are fucked up. These people are just fucked up. They're disgusting, and I don't understand their fucking brain process. I just know what they do, and I just want it to stop. Everybody wants it to stop. Where the hell is this video? I'm gonna have to look it up on.
And for me, I feel like this is exactly why individuals do not trust the police. For me, like I said, I'm a black woman. I'm a brown person. I have not felt comfortable with the police ever since I started driving, for example. And that was at 17. Just being followed all the time. I remember when I was 19, 20, I was with my ex-boyfriend at the time. I dropped him off at home. We were just sitting talking in the car, talking about our plans for the next day. And suddenly it was like several officers just rolled up and was knocking on my window.
Sorry, I found the video I was talking about.
Okay, asking me why I was there and why he was there, and what we were up to, and did we have any drugs on us? And
what? You.
Yeah, and I was
have any drugs?
And we were in a black neighborhood, and it was just like, what the heck? Like we have, and I told him, I said, look, we have a right to be here. I'm dropping him off, and we're not up to any good. And unless you have a reason to detain us, I'd like for you to leave us alone. And I mean, eventually they left us alone, but then they stood outside while my ex-boyfriend walked up to his home. I mean, like I said, this was in my teens. I've never, I mean, aside from, getting a speeding ticket, I've never been in trouble with the law. Like I'm terrified of getting in trouble with the law. And plus I don't like to do anything illegal. So it's like, it just blows my mind how people don't understand how people can live in fear of the police. I grew up in an all-white town where police do pretty much leave folks alone unless you look like me. My mom's been harassed by the police. My dad's been harassed by the police. I was harassed by police in a black neighborhood. So
that just amazes me. Fucking
my relationship with the police isn't that great. Granted, I loved my DARE officer, and he was the responding officer when I was a victim of a hate crime and was assaulted. I mean, I was lucky that he responded and knew I was a good kid. And he was very comforting, very, very good guy. Asked me if I needed anything. And so I felt very supported by him. But for the majority of the time, anytime I've encountered the police, it's never been a really good thing. Like they've always been overly aggressive, nasty attitude. Like
very, very assertive and like commanding and demanding. Yeah. Not like how's it going today, ma'am, or whatever. It's fucking license registration.
Exactly. And
I hands on the rail, but I want your license registration.
Exactly. Even I've been stopped by a woman officer. One time I was speeding, and I own that 100%. I was speeding, but that's because I got a call from a staffing agency that said, we found a position that could fit your needs, but we need you to interview. Can you be there in 30 to 40 minutes? Mind you, they called me. I literally woke up. I grabbed some clothes, and I had to drive from one end of the metro all the way to the other, which was probably about 45 minutes away. And so I was speeding. I was driving like 75, 80. I 100% own it. When the officer, it was a woman officer, came to my vehicle, she said, do you know how fast you were going? I said, yes. She said, why were you speeding? I explained to her that, I was unemployed and this was a job opportunity. I just got a call and I'm on my way to have the interview, and they needed me there within 30 to 40 minutes. And I live about 45 minutes away. And so she said, okay. And so she came back and she gave me the ticket, and she was like, and you know what? I hope this job interview was worth it, because now you're unemployed and you can't even pay your ticket. And then she just handed me the ticket. She's rude as could be. And I was like, see, this is why people do not like the police. This is exactly why. You're not understanding. You often don't show any empathy and sympathy, and then wonder why people are antagonistic. And I'm not a person that people would think have ever had poor encounters with the police, but I feel like I have. And that's exactly why I don't trust them. But I feel like this is how they treat communities in general. I don't care, for example, if a person's black, white, brown, Asian. I think mental illness, I think they treat them worse because they're not trained to respond properly, nor are they culturally competent. But I also just think that we have poor policing system and poor training. And in all communities, you have really bad police.
Oh, yeah. Whether it is, Podunk, where I live. That's not really where I live, you guys. But, this is Podunk. It's like the middle of nowhere. We have more cows than we do people. It's fine. We like it this way. But there are, just like in this town, our cops murdered somebody It was on camera. We don't have cams, dash cams or body cams here. And they do everything they can to not have them. They'll give you every excuse in the book. And when you give them a reason on why their excuse ain't good enough, they give you a different excuse. And they just keep going like that, like circle talk, you know? But from these towns like mine, all the way up to like crazy ass Chicago and then the whole state of Florida, there's not a single department where there's not corruption going on. There's not some kind of a cover-up going on. There's not some systemic racism happening. And it's not just, you know, in the department is spreading it out through the community, and it is destroying people. It is destroying them. You arrest somebody and say they can't get out on bail, they're going to hold you pre-trial before you're convicted, and it's going to take them 18 months just to get you to trial. So you've lost your job, you've lost your home, you've lost your family. And when you get out, you have nothing, and so you got to hustle to survive. Guess where you're going to go next?
Exactly.
Prison for profit, policing for profit is not just hurting somebody who is, you know, a dead thing, who doesn't matter. These are all human lives, and all of them matter to their families and to their friends and to their coworkers. And when you steal them away from those people, you are destroying not just that one person's life, but their kids, their siblings, their spouses, their parents, their neighbors, their friends at work that relied on them. That is a lot of fucking people. For them to say that they're not doing any harm, they're protecting the public. No, they're not. Not when you are going to hold somebody for 18 months over a fucking fine that they didn't pay. Or throw a blind man in a fucking maximum security prison because he was a failure to appear on an ID charge when he was the passenger in the vehicle. What the flying fuck? And they were the ones who kept him from going into the goddamn courthouse.
We're learning more tonight about this.
I did not push play. That's rude.
Body cam, a confrontation between an officer who parked his car in a woman's driveway.
Pass. Okay, we're going to go ahead and play this since it wants to play really bad. So that you guys can hear the part that I think is controversial and could get a jury, yeah, even a jury of like her actual peers, not fucking people who live on the other side of fucking town, who are not her peers. Those are not her peers. I would not be her peer. I don't live next to her. I'm not her friend, and I don't work with her. That's what a peer is. And the way they pick juries is bullshit. Jury nullification. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll get this up for you. My bucket of crazy all in one sentence. I do run-on sentences even when I'm talking. Here we go. So this right here shows something a little bit different that you might not have seen.
And I know woman who demanded that he move. Now that woman who alleged police brutality released a heavily edited version of that police video of that incident, which ended with her teeth broken, and she was charged with battery on an officer. Today, On Your Side's Troy Kless got his hands on the full video and a key phone call to 911.
Thank you, Jeannie. This 911 call adds an element that cannot be seen in Brittany Williams' socially viral video. On the call, you can hear her telling the 911 dispatcher that she had a gun and indicated she might pull it on an officer. Now, one quick note about the video that you're about to see. The state attorney's office version does not show the arrest because it occurred within Williams' home. Body cam video policy says that people's homes are private. Williams' attorneys provided a version of the video that does show the arrest in what they believe is excessive force. The takedown was physical and intense. But was it appropriate?
You're just mad because I'm a black girl?
No, because you battered a law enforcement officer.
I battered him! I catch you!
Brittany Williams says officers used excessive force.
Officer Paget is my name.
Williams' front teeth were broken when she was taken into custody. Police say the incident began when Williams threw a spoon with an unknown substance at an officer who was parked in her driveway checking emails. At that point, they started the process of placing her under arrest for battery on a law enforcement officer. Police say she resisted.
See it? Kicked me in the leg. Kicked me. At no point in time did we ever punch, hit, strike, bite, nothing of her. She then kicked and attacked me while trying to take her into custody. She kicked me here and she kicked me here.
As for her teeth,
she did that herself.
How?
When she went to the ground or when she slapped her face on the door.
How's she gonna slap her face on the
Because she ran into the door trying to run away from me.
Williams attorney Jeff Chikuma says the officers used unjustifiable force.
How could somebody in this position who's a criminal by no means have police officers treat her this way?
But the police report says Williams had a gun and threatened to use it against officers. The 911 call exclusively obtained by First Coast News.
I'm scared for my life the way he is acting. This is my home, and he's telling me he's not got to leave. How dare he? And if I pull my gun on him and he shoot me and kill me, then what I'm going to do?
Ma'am, don't do that. But just to keep this situation diffused, just put the gun up for me, okay?
According to the officers, the gun was on the floor during the takedown.
You see the gun right beside the door?
That moment is not visible, however, because the second officer's body camera fell off. Officers on scene said despite the damage to Williams' teeth, she was lucky it wasn't worse.
When I went up here to talk to her and to place her in handcuffs for the battery, she then kicked and attacked me.
No, it wasn't what we did. I think it's a bad day for her. But I'm just telling you right now, it could have been a lot. It could have been a lot more dangerous for her.
Right, and that's what
If she's threatening the police with a gun,
that's what I'm upset about. Like I know
that could have been really, really bad for her.
JSO declined to comment as it is an active investigation that is also being reviewed by their internal affairs unit. Now, again, we have the full 911 call and the unedited body cam video, which you can watch right now in this story on firstcoastnews.com. Reporting live at JSO, Troy Kless, First Coast News, on your side.
I just realized I was muted this whole fucking time. Are you kidding me? I've been talking this whole time. Come on up. I was going off. It was a great tangent. You guys missed it. The dog heard it though.
I didn't even hear it.
Yes, I am doing so good. Holy shit, did AJ die on his way here or what? Has my girlfriend popped up into the feed yet? I really want you to meet her. Fucking, I think that, so my girlfriend was struggling with a bit of an identity crisis here recently. Dying to live, you beautiful man, you. I love you. But she was dealing with a bit of an identity crisis. She's a beautiful, amazing black woman. She's a nurse in Seattle at an ICU. And we went to junior high together. That's how we met. And she just grew up surrounded by white people. And white people, not, they were dicks. They're all dicks, you know, they're dicks. And she would have to swallow the racist remarks and shit every fucking day. And it was really getting to her bad, really bad. And she didn't know exactly how to process it or deal with it or what to do about it. And there was some issues in her church that were arising that also were, you know, either a class line or there was a race line there that was causing these issues. And they were just growing and getting worse and getting worse and getting worse and getting worse. And it was really affecting her psyche. Like, her energy was fucking, it hurt to look at her, even though she was smiling, you know? Like, you could feel her pain no matter what. You didn't know what it was. You just knew it was there. Oh, I want some food. But,
oh, how I can relate to that.
She had like no black community other than her mom, who, you know, they're around each other like all the time, and they're very, very, very different people. So they can't really relate. And then there's her brother, but he's nuts. And then there's the kids, but nobody of her own age who understood what she felt like. And I couldn't help her. And so I didn't know what to do. I reached out to my other black friends and I'm just like, can you help my girlfriend, please? Because I didn't know what else. I mean, that was the smartest thing I could think of doing. And I figured it's going to make me feel like a jackass. But if it's going to help her, I'm going to make myself uncomfortable. I'm cool with that. She's a different person today. Holy shit. She's a different person today. Like you said, you go into the store and people come to you and like glom onto you because they're looking at something that's familiar. What they see in the mirror every single day that makes them feel safe and comfortable. And she needed that. And it was really fucking cool to help bring that to her. Now, if I could just get her to move out of the area she lives in. It's bad.
Now, I'll say, for me, growing up where I grew up, I was lucky to have parents, black parents, really teach me about black history. You know, so the first set of history books I grew up on, you know, came from the ebony pictorial encyclopedias.
Oh, you know, my God, are you kidding me?
No, that's what I had. And so then, you know, my mom recited black poets to me often. You know, I remember being super little and she would, I mean, I was in her arms. I remember stuff from when I was a baby, like pre 1 year old. And I remember her like holding me and being like, little brown baby with the spackling eyes. She was reciting Paul Laurence Dunbar to me. And at the very end of the poem, she would say, you, my little brown baby. And she would kiss me. So I always had parents that made me feel love in my brown skin and being a black person. Yeah. And so I was very confident in sticking up for myself and knowing my Black history. So when I went to pretty much an all-white school, went to an all-white school, and my teachers, it was Black History Month, and my teachers are teaching something, and I'd be like, nah, not according to the Ebony encyclopedias, you know.
Yeah.
I had to bring these books in, and my mom, you know, obviously when I'm younger, my mom had to mark some of the pages for me so that I could show the teacher, like, this is what we teach, this is the history. And so teachers had a hard time disputing what I was sharing with them about Black history and Black culture, because here I am, this Black child who knows my own history. And so part of me getting strength and knowing who I was and fighting back was my parents gave me history. And if parents don't give you culture and history, it's really hard to know who you are. And I think for me, that was really important in my foundation of why I was able to get through a lot of the things I got through.
Yeah, you know what? You're probably 100% right. Her mom was she worked, you know, like she was a career woman, and her dad, I don't know exactly what happened there. I know he pieced out at some point in time, and he really broke her mom's heart, like fucking shattered her heart. And then Rochelle ended up taking care of her father later on in life until he died. And like literally every man, these are her words, every Black man in her life, she has taken care of up until the point they left her by either prison, jail, an institution, or death. And so she told me that it was just, and I fucking, in my opinion, brave as shit to share this with me, just because I can't relate wholeheartedly. I can empathize. I can't relate. But she needed to see something positive in life from a Black man, and I introduced her to a dear friend of mine who is a co-parent with his ex of 3 beautiful children, and she got to see what it was that she wants out of life. You know, the kind of man that she wants to be with. That she knows that they exist now, and I know that sounds so fucked up. But she truly didn't. She'd never seen a daddy that was a single daddy that was a Black man, like not, you know, up close. It's just how it is for people around here. Well, not around here, up there. Because all parents down here are single parents, I swear to God.
Well,
but
I can take it.
She needed to see that existed. She was with a white guy at the time. And she wasn't happy.
Noli, I can take it one step further and go, how many men are true men? And I will separate color because, again, I don't want to divide, because as soon as we separate or we bring in anything that the government wants to divide us on, which is tyranny, and we can go, how many real men are out there to step up to the plate? How many real men will take on other children and their own children? How many real women will step up and take care of children? How many real people? It's the bigger picture and the truth. I mean, I'll be honest.
You're right.
And when we start saying, hey, the institution, cotton fields, I mean, how do we want to divide it? Well, who's dividing? There's a real good video I shared with Thin Blue Line Slayer, and he grew up in North Minneapolis, which is the heart of, you know, the stories he shared with me. I will never be able to relate to where he came from. He lives on indigenous soil, and I'm going up there to fight his case, which is about 2.5 hours from me, to get away from it. And the police department went up there to mess with him on an arrest warrant, which wasn't even for him. Again, this story is going to come out later for me. But how much have we seen come out of Minnesota? It's a northern state. We're not supposed to be racist. The last lynching was in Duluth, Minnesota. I have stories coming out of Duluth, Minnesota. For me, it's about the truth. And you even said that on one of my live streams. I'm about the truth. I don't care what your skin color is. I've been in the fire service and EMS long enough. We all bleed red.
Right.
So once we can step out of the part of division and come to uniting, it's us against the lies. And
I like that.
we need to unite. 13, it's not even 13%. I give 13% because easy round number is black in our country. Why does it matter? It's a division. We are people. We are human beings, and where we have government tyranny coming down on anybody is a crime, right? There's a victim. Crime leaves a victim. If there's no victim, there's no crime. So once we can unite together and come together as a people, there's a reason that no country in our history has ever had an invasion plan for the United States. There's a reason, right? Why is our own government scared of us? Why do they keep infringing on our rights? We all are either going to fall on our knees or we're going to stand together and stand, linking arms. It doesn't matter where you're from, who you are. And I think we're so caught in the cult of personality, the cult of race. We all grow up different, right? I grew up in Minnesota. I grew up in a rural area of Minnesota where we all have guns. Our police department was completely different. They pull over and help you change a flat tire. They wouldn't come up and run your plate, run you, all this other crap that we hear about. Half the fire department was half the police department was on the fire department. We all went to church together, to a non-denominational church. Why? Because we believed in a higher power. We believed in helping each other. We believed in the community. We've come so far, and we want to be divided, that we want to divide amongst cultures, races, religions. Why did our forefathers to put these in the First Amendment, right? Second Amendment is to protect the First.
Yes, it is.
Right. So
I like shooting guns, but I just do.
Right. Well, and here's the thing: you have the right to do it. Doesn't mean you have to do it. You should have the ability. In fact, I tell everyone this. My background's a lot of public safety, including law enforcement. If you're not proficient with it, it is a tool that can be used to suppress you, to kill you. In fact, if you bring a weapon to something, you can use it for the enemy to use against you if you're not proficient. And that's the thing. And Noli, you've been a huge advocate of mine, and I appreciate you 100%.
We don't have to be on dick. We just have to respect each other and the fact that we have the right to do so.
Right. Exactly. And, I've talked to a lot of officers on the record, off the record, and you'd be surprised how much of our law enforcement, and here's one thing people don't understand. In Minnesota, you have to have a minimum to be a police officer, a 2-year law. So you have to have a degree in something for college.
Yeah,
so
the DOJ program here is that way.
Right. No, nowhere else in the country. It's an academy. I know because I also spent 8 years in Georgia. Right, North Georgia. So I understand the rest of the country, and I hold our law enforcement in Minnesota. Of course, I'm back in Minnesota. I grew up different than a lot of people.
Minnesota one more time. Minnesota. Not you asshole. Shut up. I'm mud. Go ahead.
So in Minnesota, I hold our law enforcement, and I tell them all the time, I hold you guys to a higher standard. In Minnesota, in Minnesota, we should set the standard for law enforcement. Unfortunately, what do we have in Minnesota? Cops are mistaking a taser for a fucking gun. I've had that training. I've been there. I've done that. There's no excuse.
Yeah, there's no mistaking. I'm sorry.
It's not a mistake. I mean, yeah, truly it's a mistake. But it's a mistake that you have to live with.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't an accident. It was a mistake. It was an accident. And, and again, training. Our training in Minnesota is kneel on between the shoulder blades while you're putting a suspect or a person in handcuffs. Once that's done, the knee comes off the person, and your knee can slide around with someone is resisting mildly or drastically, right? So it's completely understandable. But once it's done, and actually, a lot of people don't even know this. I've talked to Plymouth, which is the city that's a western suburb of Minneapolis. I have a video that I cannot release. And the reason I can't release it is because of the narrative that can be spun from it. It was 6 white officers on a black man yelling, "I can't breathe."
Okay.
Now, hear me out. I seen the whole thing. I actually sprayed this individual the night before that attacked me. That said I looked like a white racist that would kill a black man. Now, if anyone,
having like a mental.
yes, it was a mental issue. He
Yeah.
came at me, flicked a lit cigarette. My window wasn't down on the passenger side of my truck, but if it was, it would have come in my truck. Him and I would have had a whole different conversation. And I just got done in Brooklyn Center filming the protest and the looting, and had the bullets whipping past my camera, which a lot of my viewers told me that, you know, again, when you're there, you don't understand it. And when I played it back, I could actually hear the bullets whipping past me. But the whole thing was, I didn't look at it as a black man coming at me. I looked at him as a man with a mental illness coming at me. The second night when this happened, I went up to the officers and explained to them. After he attacked me, he went over to the other Holiday gas station and attacked a delivery driver. It was a mental illness. He was upset because of what was going on. He couldn't process it the right way. And I explained to them. They, again, all these officers know me. They actually have a standing verbal order not to engage me at all, period, which is kind of weird. And I explained to them, they're like, cool, that's what we figured. That's why we're not engaging him. We figure we're going to let him just physically wind down and let him go and sleep it off. And the reason I said that is so they wouldn't push to get his information, right? They have it from the trespass from the night before.
Yeah. Why they do that? Like, they already know. Like, dude, you already know. Why?
Right. So
I'm sorry, if I could add, the Plymouth Police Department also has, they're the ones actually starting the initiative where they're bringing social workers in and they're training them, and eventually it will get to the point where social workers will be able to go out on these mental health calls. So I feel that the Plymouth Police in and of themselves have been trying to commit to community work. That's a lot different than, let's just say, the Minneapolis Police Department. And I think that's really critical to make.
They've done this. They actually started this about 2 years ago, and they have one social worker because they share it between the social worker shares between the city of Plymouth and the city of Minnetonka, which Minnetonka is one of the agencies where Rowdy Podcast and I interviewed the police chief, and that's the agency that tried to run me over that one day, which I'm handling again on a whole different front. But they share a social worker. They are trying. In 2016, they had an officer shoot and kill a person that actually called 911 having a mental breakdown. So a lot of people see things on my channel that are here and now. Again, I'm Minnesota News Now. But I also do a lot of the investigation stuff behind the scenes.
Brittany's calling, guys. I'm muting. Hello? Go, keep talking. No, keep talking.
Okay.
I got like stuff and things.
So
keep the conversation going. I will be right back.
Okay. So we have a social worker that works between 2 different law enforcement agencies. They're not available 24/7, which is a problem. But our agencies also have a lot of resources they can call the social worker 24/7. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to incorporate with a lot of law enforcement here is be able to call. There's been a lot of issues. Coon Rapids, this person with mental illness had an issue. They called 911 for help. They deployed the beanbag shotgun, which is a 12-gauge shotgun with birdshot in a sack. It hurts. Don't get me wrong. I've been there. I've done it. I've trained with it. It is a very less than lethal and barely less than lethal. Had no effect. They shot this individual then with a gun, and the person lived. But the problem is we don't want to talk. We don't want to talk and have solutions. We want to talk and have extremists. And there's no good possible outcome. The good possible outcome is how we all as a community can come together and figure out how do we handle this. On the fire department side, every time we have a high risk call or high risk anything, we go back and critique and decompress. Law enforcement doesn't get that. They go from call to call to call. And I'm not justifying, I'm stating facts. So you have police department, an officer respond to a baby, the same call that I've had, with their skull crushed in a domestic incident. Then they get called to another thing. Let's say a traffic accident, property damage. Now the fire department has the people to go and decompress, but the police department doesn't. 3 or 4 of these, as a human being, you see things that no other human being should ever see. And how do they decompress? At what point do they snap? Now, is that a failure on the police department? Is that a failure on society? Is that a failure on that individual? Now, I can also say that I've had law enforcement officers snap for no reason. In the fire department in Minnesota, most agencies in Minnesota have to do a psych eval before you become a firefighter. Most law enforcement. But once you're hired, there's no continuation of the psych eval. And that's a huge problem.
I agree. I 100% agree with that.
Because we want to divide law enforcement from people. Well, who is law enforcement? They're people. At what point do they snap? Well, now you have people, and we'll use Derek Chauvin, for instance. He's a human being. He snapped. I'm not justifying it, but what point, how many times did he deal with things before he snaps? Now, if we have another case years before where he kneeled on someone for 13 minutes, I think it was, and it was kind of covered up. Now, was it a service of his superior to cover that up, or should he have gotten mental health help so he didn't continue these things? Because I'll be honest, do a poll. Who wants to be law enforcement today? Especially if you're a white male in law enforcement, who wants to do it? Nobody. So now
just
you have no one. Go ahead.
I said just bootlickers.
Just bootlickers. Now, are the bootlickers the ones that we want in law enforcement?
No.
I don't know. You tell me.
Don't you be a smart ass.
Hey man, you and I, we got to go out and we got to do some audits and we got to go out and do some filming, which you and I got to get together.
Well, you know what, man? I'm gonna let you know right now. If we do, I'm gonna let you know right now. I do not like cops. I'm not gonna be nice to them. That may work for you, but for me, it doesn't work. I'm just letting you know right now. So you may want to reconsider going out with me.
Dude, we're individuals. You can have your own opinion. I respect everyone's opinion. I respect everyone's voice. In my chat, I tell everyone the same thing.
Black National, you're not that bad. I think you do really, really good. Yeah, whatever. You do well.
You do. I watched one where you went up to him. This is probably about 2 years ago, where you walked up to a Minneapolis police officer, and you actually came back from that with a whole different aspect with Minneapolis police.
Is that when he was downtown?
Really? Because if you look at my other one, where I got thrown down to the ground by the Minneapolis police, and I sued the hell out of them, I don't think that, I really particularly care for the police. And I don't care whether it's Derek Chauvin. I don't care if it's my grandmother's a cop. You put your hands on me, oh, it's on.
But is that individual, or is that a badge? Is it a gang? Is it a uniform? Is it a color? What is it?
Well, let's look at it. Let's look at the facts here. 18 minutes and 9 seconds, I think it was. Mr. Chauvin had his knee on 9
minutes.
9 minutes. Okay, 9 minutes. 13 minutes, 9 minutes, 12 minutes, whatever. Now, the other guy that I heard about this one too, just recently.
Yep, it's new.
13-year-old kid. He did the same thing.
Yep.
And I don't think it's a mental health thing. I don't care. I think he's just a piece of shit that was
As a
given
person,
a bad.
as a person,
I think he's
a
just
piece of shit human being.
I think he's just a piece of shit that got a badge and a gun and shouldn't have gotten it.
So who failed? Who failed in that? Was it him? Was it his superior? Was it the government?
I think all of the above. I think all of the above. Somebody should have caught it somewhere that this guy was not right in the head and that he was a danger to his community.
Exactly, and that's exactly what it is.
I agree.
If we focus on Derek Chauvin and we crucify him, we hang him in the town square, and then we all rejoice that justice happened, right? And we all sit there and we agree, justice happened, right? It's over. Do we also know that 65 law enforcement officers killed people since that time, since George Floyd and the trial was over? Do we know that 65 law enforcement officers killed people during that time? Did you hear about it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm confused. You mean in your town?
No.
No,
across
not
the country.
Yep, just across the board. I agree with you.
Wait, I don't understand. I don't understand because I actually see the numbers over here. And how the hell can 65 cops kill that many fucking people?
Right. But did you hear about it? How many did you hear about?
Oh well, I got a list fucking going, but I never paid attention to the names of the cops. So the same cop is shooting. What the flying fuck is going on?
Right, but we didn't hear about it, right? I have one on my main channel that 2 weeks after George Floyd died, if you watch that video of that I have, where it was a white kid seatbelted in the front seat of a Mustang that the cops pulled from the passenger side and the driver's side while he was seatbelted in the car.
There was a little kid.
Yep. Well, he was 20. He wasn't a little kid, and I'll be honest, I've talked to his mom.
God.
I was up in Duluth, Minnesota for 2 weeks. The last lynching we had in our country, Duluth, Minnesota, of black men. And I'm there. Why was no mainstream media outlet out there covering this? It was a white kid.
Yeah, I gotta do work. Keep talking.
So the problem isn't necessarily race when it comes to this. The race comes in with mainstream media. The problem comes government tyranny and cover-ups.
So you're saying that when a cop kills a black person, it's not racism. So you don't believe that racism exists then?
I never said that. What I said is media glorifies a narrative. Why did we not hear about everything else?
Now, I'll say this. So I live in Minnesota too. And while I agree, I think that the media does glorify a particular narrative, I feel like we do a disservice to people of color that experience this. And that's why sometimes I really start to feel some kind of way when I understand that, we have tyranny and we have to fight this, but there is an oppressive systemic aspect to policing, to our government on all kinds of levels, whether it's the poor, whether it's black people, whether it's indigenous people. But I don't like treading that line where we sit here and say, because the media pushes this false narrative, so now everybody pushes this narrative that there's racism. And that does a disservice to people like me who grew up in rural Minnesota as a black woman and in my black family and experienced racism on a daily basis. And for me, I don't think that is okay from my perspective to talk like this and say the media. Yes, does the media push a narrative? They choose what they want to elevate. And here's the thing is, if there weren't stories of systemic oppression and racism and bigotry and xenophobia and Islamophobia and all the other isms, they wouldn't have anything to glorify. And so they pick the stories that continue to keep happening. Does it mean that we should be elevating stories of police brutality as a whole? Yes, because where I stand, I went to school for criminal justice and policing and decided to stop with my last semester left. I believe that we have a poor policing structure, and we have to talk about how the police stem back to the time of being slave catchers and what that represents. I think the foundation is rotten, and when the roots are rotten, the tree is rotten. That's
Right.
just
So now let me ask you, where do the roots stem from? Does law enforcement or bigger than that?
No, yeah, and I believe that someone planted the tree, and I believe
Right, which would be what?
Settlers
Government?
and I believe it's colonizers.
Well, it would be government, right?
I hear you.
I don't know if I would say government, because
I mean,
we have monarchies, and I start to classify things a bit differently. But I do think that it's powerful elite that do plant these trees. I'm not saying that it doesn't come from something bigger, but the problem is that we have to talk about the founding of what we call America today. First off, land can't be found that's already been occupied and settled by people. But second off, we have to talk about—
It already was, though. Right. Indigenous people were here way before anyone else,
That's exactly
right?
what I just said. I said we can't talk about a land that's been settled that already had people. We already know who were here, the indigenous
Right, there
people.
was Chinese, there was Vikings, there was so many other cultures that were here way beyond what we were taught in school, right?
Right. And so what I'm saying is that we have to also start talking about the aspects of genocide, the aspects of extermination, and where that comes from. And I'm saying that the seeds that we've planted, the root in which the seed that was planted that sprouted up America, United States of America, because I'm not going to speak for every other nation in the West, because I don't live in Canada, I don't live in the various nations of Latin America.
We can't compare to any other country, right? That's what they always like to do. They like to compare us to everyone else. We are the United States. We fought an oppressive government to become independent. Freedom is dangerous. That's what we are. We are dangerous people. We invented guerrilla warfare. We won our freedom a dangerous way, right? So now, going back to that, you and I probably have the most in common here with criminal justice. I was a police explorer with 2 different agencies. I was going to be a cop. I decided to go into the fire and EMS, hazmat, all that, right? So you and I can understand, and we can speak on the same language because, again, it's a gang mentality, right? So if you understand that, you also understand the good old boy system, right? Right? The good old boy system exists. I don't care what people say. You're never going to be able to go back and change what happened in the past. But what we can do is learn from the past and grow forward. Again, the government is what? We the people. We the people have the utmost power. This is why no country will ever invade the United States. This is why the 3%ers have been labeled a domestic terrorist organization, because the 3%ers stand as what? The 3%er, I'm not a 3%er, but I've done research. The 3%ers stand for what? 3% of the general population can overthrow a tyrannical government. Why are they labeled a terrorist organization? Unless you're a tyrannical government, right?
Okay, now let's, and I don't mean to cut you off here, but let's take that one little bit, tidbit of the 3%er and put it on. Why wasn't the KKK demonized as a terrorist group? Because
they are.
They are?
And,
really?
And in fact, if we want to really deem them a terrorist group, we should deem them, in all fairness.
I'm sorry, what?
What?
Well, you disappeared for a second.
Who, me?
Yeah, at least you did on my end anyway. But keep going, you're fine. Keep going, honey.
So if we want to deem a terrorist group and we want to demonize a lot of groups, we should demonize them as a Christian extremist group. Correct?
Okay.
The 3%ers should not be a domestic terrorist group. In fact, I've been deemed links to a domestic terrorist group as trying to sabotage COVID testing because of a story I ran. Now, we want to quickly demonize different religions with things that aren't even close to being those, right? Because it fits a mainstream narrative. If you tell a lie long enough, it becomes a truth, right?
But then not say maybe religion, but say it's the cult of religiosity? Because
it's not even close. It's a defective saint, because all three main religions preach first and foremost peace. In fact, 4. I can include 4 that I know of. And I only can speak of what I know of. All 4 preach first and foremost peace and love. The most important thing is love. In fact, all 4 main religions say that if you preach hate, you are no longer recognized as a religion.
You know, when we start getting into religion, I feel like
my brain went like 20 minutes.
Interesting perspective, because by saying we preach peace
and love.
For example, let's say the Bible, go get those sodomites, right? We say we preach peace, but then we talk about the charlatan, or we talk about the medium, or we talk so at the same time we say, okay, this religion preaches peace, but with the same religious context, which in its same text, it preaches hate at the same time. So
which religion?
Foundation. Well, we can talk about
what is your
we can
Christianity.
Talk about Christianity. I'm Buddhist right now, but I'm saying we can talk about Christianity.
Okay. So offended.
Abrahamic faith. So Abrahamic faith, we have Christianity, we have Islam, we have Judaism, and then you have branches that come off of that. So,
well, you have Muslim, Buddhist,
Islam. That's Islam, not Muslim. It's Islam.
Islam. Well, there's different sects that come off
Islam, but you have Sikhism.
You're correct. Sorry, you're right. But there's different sects that come off that, right?
I want a sword. Oh, sorry.
So, let me just sum it up real easy. Out of all the religions that everyone knows, what is preached first and foremost out of every religion? Love, right?
Right.
Am I wrong?
No, you're right.
I would say it's preached, but it's never really the ideal. It's preached full of judgment. You know, we preach love if you don't sin.
Yeah, Jesus is the only one in our group that preaches love. Other than that, fucking nobody else did. Like God didn't. God's scary, dude. He scares me so bad.
But no, not as God, as a human being on earth. What are we supposed to do first and foremost? Love. Love your neighbor. Love. First and foremost, right?
Right, but there's see now, and I hear you, and I get where you're coming from on this, but see now, there's a difference between like for instance, I'll use going out and auditing or going out and cop watching. There's a difference between talking about it and doing it. You understand what I'm saying? Now, they can sit here and I can sit here and read the Bible to you, all y'all, and preach to them blue in the face. But if I don't put no action behind that, all I'm just doing is this. That's all I'm doing. You get what I'm saying?
I get you. I feel you. 100%. I see things way different than everybody, I think, though. But no, she said Sikhism, and my brain went straight to fucking swords, and I was just like, I want a sword. Like, I had Tourette's. I'm sorry.
I think we lost Minnesota.
Oh, shit. He's still up there, but shit, he might have gotten a phone call. Because he gets on the phone. But what was I doing? Oh, I know what I was doing.
Am I there?
There you are.
There you are.
Sorry, I agree with you 100%. And I'll be honest with you, I would much rather have a shield than a sword. And
swords are badass. So have you ever seen them? They're so pretty, and they like, I don't know. It's really like it's a spiritual level thing with it. It's so fucking cool. It's just beautiful.
Can I ask you why a badge is a shield?
I don't know.
Yeah, same here.
It was a star, wasn't it, for a while? And like,
But it's a
like,
shield.
didn't
What does a
everybody make
shield
their
do?
own back in the day?
Because you can beat on a shield all day long with a sword, and as long as you have a strong, that shield will always defend, right? It's a defense. It's not an offense. It's a
Shield isn't
defense.
defending us. It's like attacking the general public instead of protecting them. So they're using that shield to protect themselves. Yeah.
It's always a protection, right? You're just protecting yourself. You're not going to try to invade. What do you need to invade? A sword. A weapon, right? A shield is just to defend. Leave me alone. Don't tread on me, right? Leave me do me, and I won't go on you.
Well,
right?
I get the symbolism there, but it doesn't really fit the narrative. As far as what we've seen.
Does a shield attack?
The shield does, but the cop does. That's what I'm saying. Is like
So the symbolism behind
the symbolism, it just doesn't. It falls on like they don't follow their shit, man.
Right.
They don't fit what they're really doing.
But that's what I'm trying to say, right? A shield. When I put on a badge, that badge is a shield. It's a shield to protect me, a shield to protect my community. I'm proud to serve and do what I can. In the fire service and EMS, what do? You don't want my help? I walk away from you. You want to bleed out and die? That's on you. What does the cop do? I'm going to come up and force you to do something. I mean, the other day when I was in St. Cloud, Minnesota, I had 4 police officers telling me I couldn't stand in a center median behind a power pole, right? Because my safety, I'm in control of that was them using their sword against my shield, right? So if you have a shield is more powerful than a sword. The problem is where we're at today, we have too many people brainwashed. I was suspended from school because I brought in the Holy Bible. I think it was the King James Version, not the New King James Version, but the King James Version of the Holy Bible for free reading. They told me I couldn't have it. I got suspended. Well, I almost did. But I have a different approach, right? I have a different approach than most people. I comply because I let them walk into their own trap. So I go, what policy am I violating? They go, well, failure to obey teacher's simple instruction. Again, disorderly conduct when you're out of school and you're an adult, right? This DOC or obstruction, right?
DOC.
So now again, our DOC, going back in history, has been repealed by a Supreme Court ruling because in Minnesota, our disorderly conduct rule has been, again, there's so much history in Minnesota, it's unreal. This is why I have a hard time going outside of Minnesota. So anyway, I almost get suspended. The next day I bring in the Constitution of the United States. So I raise my hand and I go, is this a government entity? Yes. Okay. Why can't I have the Holy Bible? Because the First Amendment concludes that I have the freedom of religion and you can't tell me I can't do this. So the third day I'm allowed to bring in my Bible to read as free reading. Now, in Minnesota, since then, this is a few years ago, and since then we've had an influx of Somalian population that have changed. In Minnesota, we could not have a hat on when we took a driver's license photo, but because of different cultures have taken our state to court and have head coverings ruled as protective religious things, I can wear my flagship hat that I wear on my channel, which is a camo hat with a flag on it, which is a desecration of the American flag, and I do it on purpose because I'm waiting for the first person to tell me a camo flag is a desecration under flag code, which it is, but everyone wants to sit there and crucify the blue line flag to talk to me about it because I'm about the conversation. I also filmed in front of Brooklyn Center Police Department them burning a blue line flag, and I also filmed them burning 2 United States of America flags. stars and bars, right? A lot of people had a problem with burning the blue line flag because in my chat I have extremists on both sides of the coin. The issue I have with them burning the American flag, which is their free right, you can do whatever you want, and I will stand on the hill with you to take the gunfire every day, which I think I've proven time and time again taking gunfire. I haven't been hit by one, but you can hear it whipping past my camera. I will stand on you to take the ride, take the bullet, whatever it takes. What I have an issue with, and I want to ask, is if you want someone to obey your rights, why are you burning your rights?
Well, maybe because we feel that, and I know I feel this way, maybe because we don't have no rights. If you look at what's going on today, and I'm talking about today, our rights are being taken away one by one by one.
Okay, I'm going to ask you this question. You remember during George Floyd's, when he was in Minneapolis, you, me, and Tony, right? Were down.
Yep. Hello?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, sorry, I got a phone call. So do you remember when you, me, and Tony were down there on the radio during the was the memorial for George Floyd in Minneapolis? Then they went down to Texas after that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you remember that, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I was in the alley behind where everything was going, right? Tony was in the press area, and you were roaming around, right?
Right.
Did you ever get stopped and questioned what you were doing?
To the best of my recollection, I would have to say no.
Okay. Do you know how many people stopped and asked me when I was in a public alleyway by Secret Service, FBI, and their local security stopped and asked what I was doing, and I was wearing my high-vis traffic vest that said press all over it? I was stopped at least 5 times.
Okay.
I even went in the front door because I was told to go in the front door to get press access. And you know what they told me? That I'm running counter surveillance. So let me ask you, why was I stopped and you weren't?
Dude, I don't know. I mean, I'm not dumb. I
don't know either.
I can't answer that. All I know is that I go out and I do an audit. Let's take what was that? I believe it was day before yesterday. I went out and did an audit. If you look at my video, they tried to get me away from the billing.
Where were you? I don't know if I seen that.
Hold on. I'm eating these. I was in I was on Summit. No, wait, what's it? No, it wasn't Summit.
What city?
St. Paul, here.
Okay.
Well, anyways, so I did a First Amendment audit, and so they do the usual, may I help you, blah, blah, blah. And so she was like, well, I'm going to call the cops. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. I stayed.
Where were you, though? Were you at what facility? What type of facility?
It was called Remax Results. It's a mortgage kind of deal. Anyways,
okay.
So I like to stay because I love seeing somebody getting educated. it's just one of those things that I get my rocks kicked, whatever.
Oh yeah, we all have our thing, right?
Yep. And so, but getting back to the point, it all depends on where you're at. And I had people walk past me and at that memorial and not even say one word to me. You were on the other side, I believe, and I chose not to go as far as I wanted to go, and maybe that's the reason why they stopped you. I don't know. I wasn't there physically with you.
I can tell you the way I felt about it in every event. So again, you and I know Tony. Okay. You and I know Tony. Tony looks like a giant kid. Now he's got a taser that he carries with him. So anyone that's not familiar with Minnesota Guardian, go check out his channel. But I definitely am a news investigative combat journalist now. I never thought I'd be a combat journalist, but apparently in Minnesota we're combat journalists. You used to be Film the Police Minneapolis, right? I always jump on your live streams. I mean, in fact, when you're in Columbia Heights, I tried to find you that one day. Because
2 minutes, guys.
2 minutes?
Yep, wrap it up. I'm sharing my story in 2 minutes.
Okay. So anyway, we all have our different ways of doing things, and I respect everyone. I respect the Constitution. I respect the truth. I expect my people to call me out when I fuck up. I'm not above reproach. Right. But what I can see, again, is there's things I haven't aired for a reason, because I don't want to push a narrative. But I've also seen you have a lot. I've seen one really good interaction, and you walk away from that officer. I think it was the FBI or something, that you walked up the corner. It was by a bridge, and you walked away. And you're like, the cop was super cool to me. It was a Minneapolis cop. Now, honestly, that I was tackled by a sergeant with Minneapolis during the protest, and I don't hold that same respect for Minneapolis PD.
You can have my name on that list. I don't like them either. But
and actually, what a lot of police officers outside of Minneapolis, including I'm not even going to name agencies I've talked to off the record, think Minneapolis is fucked up as an agency, and have said that to me.
Oh. Hey, so I'm gonna put my number in the private chat on here.
Okay.
AJ has something to say, guys. Hang on. Monday. Hey, Monday. Hi. Okay, AJ said his piece. That's all he had.
Monday?
Monday. Hey, Monday. Hi.
That's tomorrow. Hey, and by the way, happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. So hey guys, I got another story to share. And then we can do whatever the hell we want. You guys can live stream all night. I pay for it now, so it's golden. But so this right here, actually, I would omit names, but it wouldn't do any good because it's too easy to find and look up. So this happened in 1993. I didn't see nobody went to trial for it until 1996. What happened is a police officer was harassing. You're making so much fucking noise. I'm going to cut your balls off. Stop it.
Hey, that's just domestic, okay?
It is domestic. Don't you like that?
And if you hurt yourself by cutting his balls off, he will go to jail.
Did you hear what he just said?
There's a whole nother world that I'm taking on too, by the way.
Take me to jail. But
hey, I'm all about fairness and equality, so you better be careful what people ask for.
Oh, he tries to cut my ovaries out all the time. It happens. We fight like
I'm just going to say it's easier to cut balls off than ovaries. Again, fairness and equality.
Yeah.
One is a quick swipe. The other one's like actual surgical procedure.
As long as you don't touch my boobies and I die with my boobies, I'm happy. So anyway, 1993, this cop goes and fucks with these kids. He ends up getting really abusive with them, and he gets arrested for it. He gets out of jail, and he decides that he is going to drive over to where these boys live. And now, mind you, there's, I think, a total of 5 kids that were supposed to be there, but one of them who we all know and love, I'm not going to say his name. You guys can look it up. He wasn't there. He was late. And thank God he was late. Because this cop goes to his house and he opens fire on these kids and kills them all. All but one. And it's because he didn't know he was there. And then our friend pulled up not too long after that and found his friends murdered. But this case happened back in 1993. This is something that... So look at all these false arrests or all these... just crazy fucking behaviors from police where they're being abusive, they're abusing their power, they're breaking the law, they're violating rights, they're violating policy, they're breaking policy. They're doing things that would be a felony for me and you. Now, if qualified immunity goes away and they have to start being held accountable the same way this man was, of course it took a while, but he was held accountable on both the abuse and on the murders.
So in Minnesota,
this is going to keep happening. Okay, so if you look at LA Sheriff's Department, they have a gang within their police department or within their department.
It's been infiltrated.
It's
been infiltrated. Their PD has been infiltrated by a gang.
I get that it's been infiltrated. Yeah, but that gang has existed since long before I was born.
Right, but it's a gang in a gang, right? So here's the other thing. What we have to start doing is applying the laws to the cops. They don't like that. So in Minnesota, if you suspect someone or witnessed a felony in progress, you as an individual granted the power of law enforcement to apprehend that suspect up to including deadly force.
Isn't that why what's his name went to jail? Because he tried pulling that kind of crap? His name's Josh something or other. I don't know. Isn't that why he went to jail?
I don't know. There's a lot of auditors. This is the one thing I tell a lot of people. My background is completely clean. Again, I was going into law enforcement. I have a problem being a hypocrite. So they're going to turn your background against you if you have a misdemeanor, if you have a felony, if you have drug charges, if you have theft, if you have any. It's going to be used against you. So what we need to do is work together. The government, you can't be against government and pro law enforcement. You can't be pro law enforcement and then ask government to help you. They're this, right? This is the problem we have today.
The thing is, though, is we, and when I say we, I mean our great grandparents went ahead and took our right to be the ones who make those laws, and we handed them off to these people who are supposed to represent us, but they don't represent us. They won't even talk to us. So
what do we have the power of?
Because we gave our power away, and it takes their power.
No, we never gave our power away. We still have the power. It's voluntary compliance. What happens? What have you guys seen in our protests and riots and looting in Minnesota? The people taking the power from law enforcement. The people taking the power from government. Agree or disagree with how it's done.
Beat the fuck down, chased around, fucking put on a list, arrested, abused, fucking stopped.
I think the problem is that there aren't enough. I think that it's kind of like what you and I talked about earlier, Noli, before you went live, is the fact that if, for example, if you think about workers' rights, if all the workers came together and just decided and pulled what they did in Guatemala one day, was the whole city decided just not to go to work, period. And then they lined up eggs and all kinds of stuff on the steps of their government building so that the politicians, when they came out, they were stepping on eggs. So I think if we have to understand that a small few, they can somewhat interrupt the system, but they can't disrupt the system. And if people fall into that compliance, that voluntary compliance that was just being discussed, we're never going to overcome the system. Everyone has to unite behind the system and then work in unity to affect change. And that's what, and that's where I understand why we cannot keep staying divided, even though we still have to acknowledge that there are groups of people that still have hardships that we must represent and talk about. We have to come together and say, look, if we don't like the police, we need enough of us to show up. Like what happened in Brooklyn Center, like that protest that was happening, I don't think it could, for Daunte Wright, could not affect the most change like it did with George Floyd. I mean, we had waves of people coming and coming and come. You couldn't even drive. It took like an hour plus just to get a couple of blocks in Minneapolis. That was not happening with Daunte Wright. On Monday, I was able to drive right up to the little mall area that they had there and walk a block just to get to the site by the police station. There were not enough of us. There needs to be enough of us. We need to shock the system. And that's what, for example, Martin Luther King understood. When they did that children's march, they had kid after kid after kid willing to walk their asses over there to jail. And they flooded the system. They couldn't hold any more people. And that's the thing, is we have to have enough of the supply to keep saying, okay, you can keep taking us out, but more of us are just going to come in our place. And that's how you shock a system. And that's what we are not doing as a people. That's where our movements are falling short, is that we're not shocking the system.
And that's the thing. So actually on Wednesday of that whole thing, they give a dispersal order for media. And I can tell you, every single mainstream media dipped the fuck out. And every one of us that were independent, we stepped in front of the protesters. And I even had a protester out there going, look, dude, they told you guys to get the hell out. And I said, yep, brother, I'll see you on the bus.
You certainly did. You're right.
Yep.
Because then, we needed that. You know that?
Because you are violating my rights. Now, there's a different tier under the First Amendment, right? Protesters, press. Press should have, and again, there was no ruling, but one of the justices said, should press have a greater right to areas where the general public shouldn't? Yes, because we are disseminated. This is why I divide myself. I'm not a First Amendment auditor. I'm not. I fall under it, but I'm not. I am press. I put out good stories, put out bad stories. I put out the truth.
But you won't put out my booby stories. That's fucked up.
I won't put out what?
My booby stories. I have lots of them.
You send me a booby story. Email it to me and I will put it out, okay? Wait, is it in Minnesota? Is it in Minnesota?
I'll make sure it's in Minnesota.
Do your booby story in Minnesota and I will put it out.
Yes.
All you have to do is go to www.boobies.com.
You know, no, we had a booby story, didn't we? We had that one bicyclist who was riding around Minneapolis topless.
No way.
She went to the park, but she was able to bike on public streets. It was really interesting.
Well, we had what was it, St. Louis Park was or Minneapolis. I don't know if it was St. Louis Park or Minneapolis because it's really close to each other, right? The topless beach or the nudist beach where they sent the PD sent drones in to write tickets.
Wait, you guys got a nudist beach and I don't? What the fuck?
I mean, I think the people just declared it a nudist beach, but it's a bunch of like really old people.
I'd say you if I saw myself in the mirror though, so I don't know.
So I'm just gonna saying with YouTube's algorithm, I don't know if I would be taken off, so I have to be very careful what I put out. And I'm not about to be taken off. I have Odyssey 2 now, but
Denise, when?
You know what? You send me a booby story, I might have to censor some of it, but I'm willing to do that. I mean, I will create a Pornhub account just to put those out for, okay?
I love you. Yes.
I'll be honest right now. I'll be honest. So here's what I'm doing. I'm sitting on a job site. I got to put a basketball hoop in. That's where I've been digging a hole. I'm at Plymouth Medina border. Literally, you see that house over there? That house is Plymouth. The house way over there in distance is Medina, where they have blue line flags on their uniforms. I'm one man, one person. I only can change Minnesota, and I'm working on it. So, but here's what I tell everyone. 65% of our country is white. If we do not unite, 13% of the black, 13% of indigenous is easy to overcome. We all are in this fight together. If I cut myself and I sit there and cut every single person, regardless of their color of their skin, we all bleed red. We're all in this fight together. Don't let the skin color divide us. We unite, we become strong. We scare the government.
Guess who just walked in? Look at the screen. He's pimping. It's our fucking Ricky Monday.
Oh my God. Hey, Ricky.
What's up, yo?
What's up, man?
How y'all doing?
I'm doing good, man. Doing real good. And yourself?
What a life. What's going on?
Living the dream, Bo.
We're just we're at the point where we're just pretty much fucking bullshitting and bitching about the same bitches we've been bitching about for the past 15, 20 years.
Hey, so can I
Sounds
throw
like
one
there's
out? Go ahead.
Go ahead, Ricky. Go ahead.
Well, it sounds like a long ass echo right behind me.
I think I'm hearing children like playing somewhere.
Oh yeah, I got kids in my background. Sorry, I'm on a job site, putting a basketball hoop in.
Okay, let's mute so we can hear Ricky real quick.
All right.
Go ahead, Ricky. You're golden.
Hold on 1 second, though, Lady. I'm trying to put up an avatar picture for you. So there you go.
Nice.
It sounds like there's my after I say something, it comes up after what I said, like a.
Oh crap. Do you have?
When I say something, it comes up like a couple of seconds after I say it.
Yeah, go over to your YouTube thing and hit mute.
Oh, got you.
Woohoo! We win. So,
All right. That should hopefully that'll take care of the situation.
Are you coming out to drop some knowledge on us?
I see somebody wanted to ask me a question about the link that the lady justice sent me about you have to wear a helmet in Minnesota for riding a bicycle.
You got to up here too. It's stupid. Like, even if you're an adult, you have to wear it or they will ticket you.
Fuck them. Sorry, but you know how
I agree. Like, I'm an adult and I'm not going to wear it. Lady Justice has a question.
I don't even want to wear a helmet on my scooter. So, but I don't mind wearing a helmet as I walk around my house. That's for sure.
I should wear one sometimes. I'm certain of it. But I'm the kind of person who stabs herself right after thinking, I better not do this. I'm going to stab myself.
Say that again. Wait.
I stab myself right after thinking, I better not do this. I had a pair of scissors in my hand. I'm getting ready to like stab it down into something that I was holding with my other hand. And I thought, I better not do this. I'm going to stab myself. And like, I did it anyway. And I stabbed myself. I had to go to the hospital and like get stitches. It was really bad.
That sounds like an incident I had before in my semi, sitting in Louisiana, trying to cut open some tools I bought with this razor sharp ass Smith & Wesson knife I had. Slit my thumb wide open.
Oh, I remember that. Holy shit. I saw you do that. Like, yeah, you got fucked with that night for being parked there or whatever because you had a flat or whatever, right?
No, I got delayed because I couldn't deliver my load to the military base that I was going to early, so they made me stay an extra 2 days. But earlier that day, I slit my hand wide open, and the cops showed up before the ambulance, and immediately they started demanding the ID. I was like, you know what? Eat a dick. I ain't sorry. I didn't call you. I called an ambulance.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, they tried to tow my truck. If I would have went to the hospital, they was trying to tow my tractor trailer. If I would have went to the hospital, so I almost put super glue on my on my cut, but I wasn't that brave.
That was really a bad cut too. That was really bad. I can't believe how fast it fucking healed. What the hell were you using on it?
Yeah, knives are my favorite objects. I hear y'all talking about freedom and your rights and basic things that we all believe that we're fighting for. Nolly D, you know how I am when it comes to rules and regulations here. I don't follow that shit. I've never paid taxes in my life ever. I'm 39 years old. I've never paid taxes. I've never taken a W-2 job. I got a letter from the IRS the other day, and it said you have some taxes from 2018 that you didn't file. I sent it back to them after I wrote on it with a big fat Sharpie marker, no contract, I do not consent. U.S. UCC Title 8, UCC, whichever one it was, and I put it on there and I sent it back. That was 3 or 4 months ago. I haven't heard back from them since. So
that blows me away. That blows me absolutely away, because you know what? They came after not my last stepmom, but the stepmom before. So like number 4 came after number 4 for like not even like that much. And they treated her like she was like a hardened criminal who had guns on her, and she was threatening them with it. I mean, that's just the way that they behaved towards her. They showed up to her house. They showed up to her job. They showed up to her best friend's kid's christening to around her.
Talk about desperate government. Desperate government. That's all that is. It's just like somebody said earlier, overstepping of their judicial bounds with no authority and no jurisdiction whatsoever. And they manufacture this consent from us. They they trick us into giving consent without our knowledge, and we don't even know that. Most people don't have a slight understanding of basic syntax grammar. I'm not one of the best speakers or proficient speakers, but I do understand when it comes to tricky words that they like to use and manipulate us with, and we don't even realize it when they're doing it until it's too late.
Dude, it's the simple words that freak me out, like the word reasonable. That's a fucked up word, and I never thought it was a fucked up word until you guys. Thank you for ruining that word for me. Reasonable is a fucked up word, and it is a way for them to manipulate the law to benefit them, but never you.
Right. They only manipulate the law when it benefits them, never when it's in the benefit of the people that the government claims that they represent. And most people don't even realize, that this all starts with a vote. With your vote is to give voltage, which means to give power to someone else to speak for you, because you have no voice. So you depend on someone else to speak for you. So you go and you cast your vote, giving voltage to these, senators, politicians, governors, you name it, and we just, we give a vote, we cast a vote, and that pretty much, puts us in a system of consent, and you have no say so from there on what your so-called elected representatives, want to go about doing. You have no say so in it from there on, and you never will. And people will tell you, oh, you don't like the laws, or you don't like this, you don't like how police operate. Why don't you go become a cop, and you can go into the department and maybe you could change that. Well, fuck, last time I looked at it over there in Irwindale, they were taking in them kids for the Explorer program, and fully 100% taking advantage of them, you know, sexually molested them, and, you know, doing it for years and getting away with it. And everybody in this little bitty department, you know, knows about it. It's only 24 cops in Irwindale, and they only have a population of 1,500 people. And they, you know, maybe that those kids wanted to go into law enforcement and they wanted to make a change, you know, for something better that, you know, that they didn't like, but, you know, they got took advantage of in the same situation, the same spot. So, you know, what difference does it make if you want to go into law enforcement or if you want to go be a politician? Because, you know, it's never in the interest of the people.
Well, that's why I don't vote.
I never have. I never will.
Same here.
I think Chronic is asking me, am I a socialist? No, I'm not any kind of political affiliation, whether it be Marxism. If you don't know, Marxism is socialist. I don't, you know, we say, oh, we're a big democracy here in America. No, we're a fucking republic. You know, and that's one of the twisted up things that's just, you know, people don't even get, you know, it's to the republic for which it stands. It's right there in the,
I never
you know,
thought about that. That's pretty fucking funny. What the fuck? Clues everywhere.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't hear your question.
Oh no, that just blew me away. Fucking, I've never, ever, ever once thought about, you know, you know.
I mean, if you look at it, the media will come on. The media will come on and say, oh, this is a threat to our democracy. And everybody's like, oh, this is a threat to our democracy. We're a democratic nation. No, we have democratic principles, but we are a republic.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, you know, basic, you know, education among the public education system in the curriculum that neglects that information to the children because they don't want kids to grow up with the idea or any kind of thought outside of what they want to train you and teach you as a kid growing up.
Well, at this point, indoctrination starts from the moment that a baby is born because their parents were indoctrinated. So, of course, their parents are going to teach them the same crap. My girls, semi-indoctrinated because I was kind of sort of on it with them growing up. And they know the damn truth. They know the history that my grandpa taught me. They, you know, not just the one that the school taught me.
Right.
I think that that's just important. They also have been learning the history that you guys have taught me. And they know that when they get pulled over, they're going to put their hands on the roof of the cab of the truck, and they're going to fucking leave them there until they are told to take them down, because they've seen what happens here with our local cops. They don't give a it's
so
it's here in a small town. But
so I can tell you one. So one of the jobs I had was we installed all the law enforcement lighting right down in I worked in Miami and then Atlanta, right? So me and my buddy were doing this. So we had an unmarked vehicle and it was fully lit. And so we pulled over one of his buddies just to mess with him. You know, it's what you do, right? You know, and it was a white dude, right? And we pulled him over. What do you do? First thing he did, hands out the window, right? Then when we walked up to him, he's like, you know, some words that were exchanged, and but it was the white guy felt the same way. You know, he thought he was gonna die. So I think it goes back to government tyranny, police corruption, police empowerment. But police is government. They're the enforcement.
It's beyond police. The police are just the hand. The police are just the pinky on the hand of the arm that feeds the whole fucking system.
Right. So if we, you know, this is what I've talked to a lot of different people about, right? So there's two different sects of our people, right? There is the 100% pro-police, anti-government, right? And then we have the 100% defund the police, anti-police. Government needs to fix our police. It's the same thing, right? Like, why are we
They
not?
need to be fixed. I think they need to be replaced.
Well,
I
you
think they
replace.
need
What
to
do you?
be. I think they need to be gone. Period. Personally.
Okay.
I
So
think
we
they're a
have.
piece of shit.
We've had that, and it's failed multiple times.
You know why it's failed? Because practice policies like the one where the question was asked me about the helmet law, failed policies like that that are only enacted to create one thing: revenue and manufacture probable cause to stop someone, to detain them, to take
There you
advantage
go.
of them. And until they stop lobbying these bullshit rules and regulations upon the general public, and they stop giving all these excuses to law enforcement to stop and detain a person for any given reason, then shit is not going to change. It's just been this way forever before
Yep.
we were around. And you know, the government back in, what was it, 1889, Little Bighorn, North Dakota or South Dakota, they went up there and gave all the Native Americans blankets with smallpox. Our government isn't an innocent institution, and the police that represent and enforce the government's will upon the population that they claim to serve isn't in our interest either, only in theirs.
Yep.
Goes back to my point. The largest mass school shooting in U.S. history has been perpetrated by who?
Perpetrated by all the greedy people in charge that want to make $1 at the expense of the suffering of other people.
U.S. government, right?
U.S. government?
The largest mass school shooting ever in our country has been perpetrated by the U.S. government on indigenous people.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we talk about it?
Our government is beyond. That's just crumbs of what our government done. You know, we can go into conspiracy theories and we could talk about opinions, or we can look at scientific facts and we could say, oh, wait a minute, there's something way broader on the spectrum than we even realize.
But the thing is this is what I've learned, and if anyone watches Brian with High Impact, which he's had 2 channels deleted,
All right, he pisses me off, and then I agree with him, and then he pisses me off, and then I agree with him.
And that's okay. We piss each other off. I piss myself off, okay, right? I don't agree with everyone, and that's what makes us great.
Well, we
need to disagree. We need to have the conversation. We need to learn from each other.
I was talking to somebody about this week.
Sorry, I was trying to hit pause on that. We got a video clip to check out that Lady Justice has brought forward that she wants to examine. Ow!
It's an article. It's not the video clip. It's
okay. All right, you guys go ahead. I'm going to read this article. Keep talking.
Former anti-vax influence against COVID vaccine. What about the people that are dropping dead from getting these damn vaccines? They don't talk about that though.
Oh yeah, I fucking forgot about this. Yeah, you know what? I saw a video the other day that was supposedly by this doctor, a pediatrician, who tried to tell, and this was a video that was promoted by YouTube. They were promoting it, and she gets on there and she's trying to say how these people, nobody has died from the vaccine. Bull fucking shit. I know for a fact people have died because of the vaccine, because my girlfriend watched them fucking die because of the fucking complications due to the vaccine. That's
misinformation. You're preaching misinformation.
Noli D. Well, why do you say we're preaching?
Noli, if she wants the channel, I would just stay away from that topic.
Yeah, you should, and you definitely should. But let me just say this, Noli. While you're at it, hold on, the ingredients that are mixed in that vaccine, and you look at those chemical compounds that are in that vaccine. It can be found. Go look up those chemical compounds. Look them up and tell me some of those chemical compounds are the type of fucking drugs that you want to put in your body. Think about that. Just because your government said it's safe, and we're sitting here talking about how dirty our government is, how our government went out and they killed all these Native Americans with smallpox in their blankets. I don't think for 1 second our
That's
government.
misinformation. I'm from the government. I'm here to help. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, do you see me? Do you see me? I'm a white man. I'm from the government. I'm here to help. Okay.
Okay.
Everything
I don't
else
want the
is
government's help. Thank you,
misinformation.
though.
That's the problem. In fact, I just watched YouTube and listened to it on a channel. I think it's Jimmy something or another, talking about how the CIA has infiltrated our media. Again, we know this, but what they're doing to censor things and change opinions and change all this stuff, and it's really sad. It's really sad. It's easier to lie to the mass and get them to believe the lie than it is to expose the truth.
It's easier to use demographics to be able to pinpoint exactly where you want to aim your propaganda, just to get that particular group of demographics to vote against their own interests.
Absolutely. Sorry.
Pet that fucking cat, you mean bully. What's the matter with you?
Look at her. Look at her. Oh, hold on.
Give her to Tom Zebra.
Look at her.
Oh, ouch.
I don't know what she wants.
Tom Zebra.
So if anyone was watching my live stream the other day, I was going to do like a 20-minute news story. And apparently my cat and the chat was the main interest of my news story.
Like, yeah, everybody loves a kitty.
And I actually showed her, and one of the officers the next day when I seen him asked me about my cat and how she was doing. I'm like, but yeah, no, I
Lolly D, your news article you have up here, Devontae Wright's girlfriend, Elena Payton, who was in the car earlier this month when a Brooklyn Center police officer fatally shot her boyfriend and suffered a fractured jaw during the police encounter, her family says. So basically her boyfriend was shot by the cops and somehow her jaw got broke during the process. The only thing that I could think of was she was resisting arrest, so they had to punch her in her jaw.
Look.
So can I?
You got to do what you got to do.
Y'all, so this is my story that I wanted to be brought up. So, and I've been pretty quiet, so I don't.
You've been super patient. Thank you.
Jump to conclusions first and foremost.
Oh hell.
I just want to say that at some point during the encounter when Dante Wright was shot, it's alleged by Elena that when an officer jumped through to restrain Dante on the other side, that she got injured in the process, though the police are saying that she was injured in a car accident. And ultimately, the family and Elena are asking for the police to release the body cam footage from the other officer. It's what their family attorney is pushing for. It is what the family wants. It is what Elena wants. But not only that, I feel like there was a bigger discussion that I'd like to have with the conversation. It is that what do we do in hashtag movements when we forget about the living? You know, when we bring it back to Diamond Reynolds and the Philando Castile shooting, and she filmed it.
Yeah.
Some of the things that Diamond Reynolds talked about was feeling ostracized and alienated by the community, feeling like she was shamed and blamed for the death of Philando Castile.
Did you see what happened to her a year later?
Right. Yeah. I saw where she got arrested or whatever for the.
No, where she got in between the cops and some dude that was innocent. They were gonna kill him. They were gonna fucking kill him right there. And she went running out into the street, and she got in between them and was just like, "No, you can't do this."
Right. I did not hear that story.
Oh my god! It's on video. It's great.
I feel like we often, especially when it comes to Black women, we often forget about them and we don't talk about their stories. There's this huge GoFundMe for Dante Wright, and rightfully so, his son, to take care of his son. But nowhere is it mentioned in that GoFundMe about Elena and what her medical needs are and what her medical expenses are. And so this article also shows a GoFundMe page, but it's the broader issue that in hashtag movements, when we're shouting out the dead, especially when it is Black men that have died by the hands of police brutality, like, why are we not talking about when it happens to women? Yes, we have Breonna Taylor, but still it was women, a lot of women leading the charge. You know, what happened to Diamond Reynolds, where she still takes it for what happens, but then people still kind of forget about her story, and then she's on Beyond Fix My Life talking about how she doesn't have support. And right now we have, you know, Elena, at the time when I first saw the article, there was like $1,200 out of $20,000 that they're trying to raise for her medical expenses, but no one is talking about her as a victim in this situation. And so I feel like it's really important that we also talk about living victims, and that when we move into hashtag movements, that we don't forget about them. And especially with misogynoir that does happen, we can't forget about women of color, Black women of color. I just think that that's important.
We can't forget about no human being, regardless of color.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that. You know why we're losing it is because when I went to cover Breonna Taylor down in Minneapolis in front of the armory, I got kicked out of there because I was a white male trying to cover this story. Again, it's about the divide, not about the story. It's not about us uniting together. It's about divide. And unfortunately, our Antifa, what they call Antifa marshals, said that I am part of the Proud Boys, I'm proud of the 3%ers, and I'm out there to divide this. Again, what are we talking about? We're talking about the divide. When you talk about Black women...
One thing, excuse me, Minnesota News Now, you said Antifa, right? If you go, anybody, if you go on your thing, on your computer right now in your search bar, and you type in Antifa, tell me who comes up. I'm not even going to tell you. Just tell me who. If you really want to know about anything about that, if you really want to expand your mental capacity about this political movement and this Antifa group, just type in Antifa.com and tell me what website comes up.
Okay, can I ask you, is it about a divide?
It has everything to do with that. It has every single thing to do with that.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. So by pushing me out, which if anyone's ever watched anything that I do, I'm about the news, about covering what's going on, regardless, right, wrong, indifferent. I don't care about your opinion. I don't care about your race. I don't care about your physical features. I don't care about what you identify as. I'm out there to cover what's going on, right? I'm about the truth. Okay, so at the end of the day, it's the truth. But by pushing out someone that's willing to cover,
everybody's truth is going to be the same as the next person's truth, because mainly our individual's truth is going to be based on an opinion.
That is the dumbest statement I've ever heard. That is the dumbest statement I've ever heard.
So if we want to talk about truth, we have a woman right now who has a broke jaw, whose story is really not being covered. So how do we get truth to that? Period.
What is the truth behind that? Truth bears no scrutiny, right?
Right.
The truth is the facts, right?
We have to demand the police, all the body cam footage. That's what
you won't get body cam footage. You will not get body cam footage.
Maybe in a year or two.
But there's a problem with that. We should be able to get that body cam footage.
You should be able to. Absolutely.
What state?
100%.
What state did it happen in?
In yours, you weirdo.
This is Dante Wright's girlfriend.
Okay, I'm asking for facts. So you can call me what you want. I don't care. That's freedom of speech. I will never have. So you call me a weirdo. You can call me whatever you want. I don't care. I don't take offense to it. What I'm saying is, what state is that? Look at our state statutes. Who created these state statutes with our state laws, right? It is our legislation. Our legislation is flawed.
Voted for.
Right. So change the law, because a body cam in Minnesota will be redacted unless you are the subject of this body cam footage. I'm fighting this right now. So
okay, well, she is the subject of it, though. Like she's trying to get it for her, even.
She can subpoena
her lawyer's
it.
trying to get it.
No, she's got a shithole for an attorney. Okay. Her attorney is a piece of shit. I can walk you through it. Our subpoena system in every state is super easy. This is not a hard issue. If she has a court case,
It is a hard issue. In the state of California, a good friend of mine that I know personally from Venice Beach, when I worked in Venice Beach,
I can't
Brandon
speak
Glenn.
I can't speak for California. I'm talking about Minnesota.
Exactly, and just like this lady's situation, that the police, when they get caught red-handed fucking up, they don't never want to publish their fuck up for the bad publicity.
But you're speaking for California, for Minnesota.
No, I'm speaking for the whole United States.
That's can't. How, it's based on state law.
That's how law enforcement works. I don't care what state you're in.
No, it's not.
I don't care what state you're in.
State,
law enforcement is shit, and law enforcement does what they want to do. We all know that.
You do what you want to. You're closed-minded, and I don't know how to talk to you about it, right?
I don't know how to say closed-minded when
you are closed-minded.
I embrace your opinion, and I have my opinion. The only thing that can separate an opinion is a fact and factual information. And without us giving factual information or factual knowledge, it's based on an opinion.
What
information? You're basing it on U.S. what? U.S. law? Or you're basing on...
You're trying to...
Take and base what? You're trying to base California law on Minnesota? Each state's individual, right?
Each state is individual. And how the hell is each state get the if we all have the same constitutional right under the United States Constitution, how
constitutional law doesn't cover body cam footage.
Okay, but what I'm getting at is if each state can make their own rules and regulations and their own laws different than the next state, but overall is governed and clearly the United States Constitution and the Bill of Rights.
Right.
How is it that, these state laws can make up, each different state can make up their own rules and regulations, and the United States Supreme Court or the state courts can just entirely ignore your constitutional rights to begin with?
So what constitutional law bounds U.S. constitutional, right? U.S. Constitution governs what on body cams?
You know what? There's the Freedom of Information Act, number one.
Okay.
Freedom of Information Act.
Which each state has individual laws governing that as well. And Minnesota's okay.
But Freedom of Information Act is what? Federal, right?
So are we on the same side of this argument in debating stupid things, or are we on the same, or are we on different sides of this?
I'm not debating anything. I don't have anything to debate, and I don't have anything stupid to say. I don't have no experience in stupidity.
Okay. Wow, okay.
I got that.
All right, Noli, I'm jumping off. You enjoy, because I don't even know how to talk to this individual.
Okay, have a good night.
All right, bye.
Awesome. Sorry, Noli D.
No, it's fine. No, it's fine. I'm sorry. That happens. You should see when I have somebody from the activism side and somebody from the pro cop side up here. It can get really complicated sometimes.
I was he wanted to start talking about case law, or what laws am I basing what on, or what U.S. what, So I just got to say, you got to know, Noli D, that any law that's not constitutional is not a law.
Yes, I agree with that 100%. You guys, just so you know, I did post the GoFundMe for Alana. I don't know how to say her last name, but Payton's.
If you would forward me that link, I would be happy to post a link for that GoFundMe as well. I don't have a problem with that, because hey, I'm not Noli D, I'm not a closed-minded individual. I'm open for all thoughts, especially when they hold merit.
I just stuck it in the private chat too, so that it's right there. You can get to it, and I'll make sure that whoever's modding when you're on later, I'll talk about it a little bit in the chat with the people that aren't paying attention.
So really my only point to this is to get to get her story out. With the Freedom of Information Act, I'll just say that it does govern information. It's the right of the people to have access to information from the federal government. Sadly, police are state. And I can see how they would say, well, you know what, we're not a federal agency, so we don't hold to that. I understand what Minnesota News Network was saying about the fact that there is no state law or federal law that talks about access to body cam footage. Now, do I think there should be access to body cam footage? 100%. I think that, if police are tax funded, and I think that should become public record, and I think that those things should be released. And my whole point was, can we push, since Minnesota News Network was the press, like, how can we help push this out now? The most important thing is we have a living victim that is also being forgotten. Like I said, if we think about Diamond Reynolds' story, we have to be critical of the fact that we don't want her to feel as if she's to blame for that she doesn't have community support. How do we come together if the community just forgets one of the victims?
Yeah, I agree. You're 100% right. And I was told about this the other day, and I completely 100% forgot about it. That's how quickly it went in one ear and out the other because somebody else had just been shot. But you're right. People left behind that are still alive who need, like I said, show support. They need to know that they're not alone and that people are here for them and believe them. That's something that really pisses me off when people don't believe a victim. You got to believe a victim until they're proven to not be a victim. You have to, because when you look at a victim and you say you're a liar and you get the community to follow suit, it affects them in a way that this it's not only lasts through their lifetime, but anyone that they are around who they have an impact on their lives, it affects them too. It's like a fucking disease.
I think we have a duty to,
and you get it, and it's just like, no matter what, you're going to be beat. There's no way to win, and you're going to be abused, and you just have to take it.
Right. And I think that's where for me, how I feel about it is I feel like we have a duty to hear their story. I personally, for me, it doesn't have to be for everyone, I tread carefully when we say, believe him or believe her. I think the important thing is to have a space where people can tell their stories without judgment so that we can figure out the facts. There are always multiple sides to a story. It doesn't mean one's right and one's wrong. Oftentimes it falls somewhere in the middle. And if we think about the story with Elena, you know what, Ricky, you might be right. She may have been resisting arrest, and therefore.
Well, I'm sorry. I was being sarcastic when I said that.
You would never read that.
But my point was, what I'm saying is that
that's what they're gonna say, because she's just been a witness to their assault on someone. So that's always their go-to charge when they want to cover up something that they've already done wrong. So the first thing that they're going to say is, "Oh, you're resisting arrest," and they're going to put you under arrest for
right.
So I was just being sarcastic when I said that. I mean, if you don't know me or know how I speak, then you probably wouldn't catch that sarcasm.
But I'm saying my point is that if someone is lying, for example, about what happened to them, and there's footage of it, the footage is going to speak for itself ultimately at the end of the day. And I don't think that it's too much to ask of the press, or that it's too much to ask of anyone, an activist or an organizer, to cover all victim stories and give it a space to speak in its own merit. There might be some things that are true to the story, and there might be some things that are false to the story. But how do we know that if we're not pushing out the story of victims? Elena's one of those people who can really talk about not only what happened to her, but what she saw from her perspective. And if we don't give her a nurturing environment and a community-based environment to feel comfortable to share her story, then we're not doing what we need to be doing as a community to make change.
Well, you said if it's not too much to ask, right? I agree with you. That's not too much to ask. They should take their asses straight back there to the back and make a copy and hand it out to whoever comes in and asks for it. Okay, you need to replace your material, your $25 or your $5 CD, then so be it. Here's your $5 for your CD, but you need to release that shit. But it's too much to ask for the police because, like criminals, the police are going to go about this however they can cover up their criminal acts so that they probably don't face the bad publicity or criminal prosecution for their actions.
Mm-hmm.
Just like my friend Brandon Glenn in Venice Beach that was shot by LAPD laying on his belly and his back 7 times. I know the cop that shot him. I have videos of the cop that shot him. Awaji was one of them that was present, and Awaji is also one of the cops that shot him in the back. Awaji is also involved in another homeless guy beating in Venice Beach with Sergeant Theresa Skinner. And guess what? They don't want. They still this happened 2015, and they still haven't released the video body cam footage. Why? And the prosecutor Jackie Lacey still hasn't prosecuted these criminal cops for shooting this kid in the back 7 times while he was laying on his stomach already with handcuffs on his back. And this is someone that I know, like someone that I've fed and bought lunch for and smoked weed with and watched them skate at the skate park. It happened, and they don't want to, and that's just unfortunate. That's just all across the United States.
It's very unfortunate.
We're watching someone challenging someone to fight, or they just having a verbal argument. I'll yell at the cops like, "Oh shit, damn, what a life." That's not justified. Hey, you can't just shoot somebody from your. Well, they're still opening fire on him as he's laying down. Wow.
Yeah, he was walking through town and the cops started fucking with him. The cops lied about every aspect of this fucking case. It is disgusting. And they just pulled up on him and they just fucking shot him. Not even enough time to say, freeze, don't move, or if you move, I'll shoot, or you couldn't even say 3 or 4 words in the amount of time that cop pulled up and put his fucking shit in park and had the gun out and shot and killed him. And then they're trying to say that he had a gun on him. They never picked one up. I have a full 8 hours of video. They never picked one up off the ground. They never picked one up off of him. And
I can clearly see that he doesn't have, any weapon in his hand. He don't have anything. Maybe a cell phone in his hand. I don't see a gun. Is that a gun right? It's just. Wait, can you rewind this, please?
Sure can.
He has something in his hand.
Oh, it's not playing. Yeah. There we go.
More. All the way to the beginning.
Okay.
All the way to the beginning, please. There's something in his hand right there.
It's not the beginning. Here he comes.
He has a gun in his hand.
I don't see a gun.
Watch, I'll tell you when. Pause it. Right.
It looks like there was something.
Right now.
Right there, or?
You see it? It does look like a gun. I mean, I can't prove it because it's not that clear.
If you keep watching, because there's like another 4 minutes of video here, this cop would have at least got out and kicked that gun away. And it would have gotten picked up right away. There is paperwork that states they picked it up and they placed it on the hood of that car right there. They never placed anything on the hood of that car. And then the Aberdeen Police Department has a picture of a black gun. The Sheriff Department has a picture of a silver gun, or colored gun, and nickel-plated gun. So, and they both say that that's what he had. There was an eyewitness who also said dude didn't have a gun.
Okay. Okay.
So was it the officer in the vehicle who shot him?
The cop in the vehicle is the one who shot him. Pulled up and just banged, like, yeah. And then
and that's what I don't understand. Like, okay, so you believe a person or you say a person has a weapon. I understand police rolling up to secure the area, but I mean, you rolled up on a person and then point blank range just shot them. Like, if you believe that he was a danger like that, why would you roll up on someone that close that has a weapon? Like, there are certain questions I have that make me feel concerned that the officer's like, police put themselves in danger. Okay, we'll just say that. But to put yourself that close in danger if you're suspicious that a person had a gun instead of keeping somewhat of a distance. I'm that enough distance to maybe shoot, but I mean, like, this is just up close and personal. Like, I don't understand it. It was like, I'm going to throw myself in danger and have a reason to just shoot.
Are you familiar with Tamir Rice?
Yes.
Well, I mean, poor kid didn't stand a chance either with his BB gun. You know, he didn't even get to raise it. You know, and nonetheless, this here is, you know, this is the training. This is the norm for police officers. This is the training that they receive. They are taught like this as they go through the academy and they go through their department training. This is what they're taught to do. This is something that their training officer passes on to them as they go out onto the streets for their first, you know, if you want to call it, tour of duty. You know, it starts a lot with the training officer. Look at the training officer from a week and a half ago with me and Tom Zebra consuming a beer on private property, eating lunch, and cop walks over and turns off my live stream, and you know, and he's training the other guy. So what did he just train this guy to do? He just trained this guy to go over there and stand in front of the mirror and get caught by the mirror in the live stream and turn off cameras.
Mm-hmm. That's creepy as fuck.
They teach these guys, and believe it or not, there's this, I don't remember his name directly off the top of my hand. This guy, he goes around from department to department, state to state, and he teaches cops what they need to do immediately after they have officer involved shooting or OIS. And when they have these OIS, this former cop, he teaches other cops the proper protocols of what to say and how to, you know, make sure that you're not going to get prosecuted and for, you know, shooting a guy, however it may be justified or not. So this guy is going around, you know, doing seminars teaching other law enforcement agents and agencies and officers how they can actually go around and murder people at their will and not suffer any consequences for their actions.
It's fucking insane. It's just insane. Fucking insane.
It's fucking sad. I mean, I don't, you know, they're trained to do this. They're trained to behave like this.
Is this fucking the frame by frame? Okay, so we got a frame by frame of this shooting that I have saved on my Google Drive. I'm gonna send you a link to it if you want to check it out. There's so much that these files. I have the sheriff's department's files and I have the Aberdeen Police Department's files, and they don't exactly match perfectly. But to find the discrepancies, you really gotta fucking look. But damn it, where's the shooting part at? This is a pain in the ass when it's frame by frame.
Noli D, have you seen my recent video that I finally covered for one of the shootings that I've covered 2 shootings, you know, and you know, my time, you know, the few years I could have done more, but after the first one was, you know, pretty hard for me.
Yeah.
Christopher DeAndre Mitchell. Let me see if I can pull it, Chris. Let's see, Mitchell. Let's see if it comes up in my videos.
Now, is that the one where his brother showed up the next morning and you were in the street protesting the cops because you guys saw what fucking went down?
No, this is that was Christopher. That was Antoine Stamps.
Okay.
I'm referring to Christopher DeAndre Mitchell. He was shot in the car by Torrance PD. He was in a stolen car and he had a BB gun air rifle tucked downward towards the floor, and the cop gave him conflicting orders, and the guy had his hand up, and the cop covers his body camera and turns off his weapon attachment and proceeds to open fire on him, shot him in the back of the head, shot him in. I met the mom and the uncle of the victim, and it took me okay, so it's the name of the video is Hired Pathological Liar, Dishonest Torrance Police. And the reason I bring this up is because it's really similar to what they did in the video that you showed. If I can come back to okay. Oh, this is even better. Okay, so now we can get another angle of this. Okay.
This right here is frame by frame, so it's like they took still frames from the video footage. Now, mind you, these cops did not know that this video camera was there. They did not know until late that night or early the next morning because we posted this shit on fucking Facebook right away. Because we saw what happened. But I think I need to go this way in order to get to go forward in time. Oh, God damn it, I'm going to have to do that every time, you bastard. I want to see what you see. Now, was it in his left hand or in his right hand?
Right hand.
Okay. Oh, actually, that one looks good.
That's why he's going to turn around and walk back this way. He's going to turn around and walk the opposite direction of the squad car.
Like he never reaches for anything. Like
he didn't have, he could have, I'm not saying he didn't. He did or he didn't. But if you now look at his right hand right now. Now watch him when he goes forward and turns around and walks away from the car. Before he gets shot, before the car even shows up.
Oh, okay.
Before the car even arrived.
Okay. That is down here. If I accidentally porn bomb myself, you guys, there shouldn't be nothing here, but just ahead of time, fucking I'm sorry.
That's okay. Before the cop pulls up.
Okay, he's right there.
Keep going. There you go.
Which one?
Just right around in there somewhere. He's gonna turn around whenever you see him. See it in his right hand.
I'm blind as a fucking bat. I need AJ, give me a big screen. See, I'm not seeing anything here.
What?
Oh, I wanted the big screen.
Right here. Push to go to the next frame forward.
Okay.
Try to get his hand because there's going to be one frame with that right hand sticking. I'm going to say just 45 degrees outwards.
Now, right there, it kind of, but then you look over on this right here where it's cleaned up and it's a little bit bigger, and it just looks like his hand's in a fist.
If you can go forward, you're gonna as he steps forward, you're gonna see this hand, his right hand, come forward a little bit more, and it'll give you a better view of his hand.
Oh, good job! That was my record.
Right there. All right, now. There you go. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it's just his hands. Yeah. And what's even worse is these videos that you have, and the video that they release is in so much lower quality than what the video was probably originally shot in.
Oh yeah, I
So
can guarantee it.
so they do that too. That's something else that they do.
There's a lot of cases that are similar to this, and the thing is there shouldn't like a lot of the cop body camera footage and stuff will go on TV or go on the internet, and it's all fucking crappy ass footage. Like,
Yeah,
why are they spending so much money on it? Well, you're
they
right.
like to-
They lower the quality as far as they can,
Yep.
and before they give it to you or before they release it.
Yep.
There is a man though that I can't remember where the hell he's at. I met him online and I got his email and everything. He does video analysis work. And he has to have the original file in order to do his job to the best of his ability.
Yep.
But he can use copies of the file. Oh, you're taking it away now? Okay. Sorry, AJ's manhandling you. Don't let him touch your boobs. Okay. Well, fuck, that didn't help me any.
Yeah, Bootlicker said the FBI can make this 1080p for sure.
Can you still hear me? I don't think you can hear me. Will you plug in my
I can barely hear you.
I apologize. I am getting a microphone out because I'm in that bucket. I said if we go forward to the shooting, he is straight up just, like it looks like he went to go and grab his sock, like, because his sock starts to slip. You can see it fucking falling down on him. And dude, I'm not even gonna lie, the dude was high. But in my opinion, I don't give a fuck. His family loved him. His friends fucking loved him. He was trying, and his personal demons shouldn't have fucking mattered. They didn't know that at the time. They just rolled up on him and shot him.
Yeah.
It's hindsight that
That's
they
how they
will
do
go
it.
ahead and drag someone's name through the mud for something that they didn't know the moment that they killed him, acting like it's okay now because this person was high, or because this person had a record, or because this person was an asshole. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't see how the general public can hear that and not hear it the same way I do. How does that justify something that you did yesterday when you didn't know yesterday? You didn't know anything.
They always come back with they can always come back with another charge later.
Did you turn my audio down or something? It's all fucked up. Hang on, dude, I can't hear you. God damn it.
They can always come back with another charge later.
Oh, that's not good. Okay, I got it. Hold on.
That's why I'm hearing him muffled. It's because he's in your fucking pocket, ain't he?
No.
Anoli D, I don't know if you've ever checked this video out, the link that I posted in your chat room, but if you want to check it out
Oh, fuck. That ain't going to work.
later or whenever.
No, I was wondering,
awesome.
just put it on the share button or whatever. AJ, get this shit down. Unplug it. Give it back. It's fucking my audio up. It's fucking Thank you. I sound like a total ratty bitch. I apologize. I am a total ratty bitch, though. Thank you for trying to help. I gotta close this and get this out the fucking way so I can see what I'm doing.
Do you want this plugged back in or no?
I don't want anything. Yeah. Hit that share button. So hit the share button that's right below us, and then hit share screen, and then hit Chrome tab, and then go down and on the left hit share audio, and then hit share on the right, and it'll pop it up here, and then I can share it. Or I guess that does sound hella complicated, don't it?
Don't.
Shut up. I do want a donut now. Fuck you. I'm not seeing it. Did you put it in the regular? Oh, you put it in the YouTube chat, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a dinglehopper. Don't mind me. Oh, how the fuck did I end up here? What the hell happened? There we go. Okay. I'm almost to it. I want to check this shit out. I got it. Okay. There we go. I found everything I needed.
Also a little bit about what happened here.
Public information officer for the Torrance Police Department.
Hello, sir. Torrance. It's an emergency. My car was stolen Friday, and I'm right behind the person that's in my car right now. Okay, where are you at? I'm located in Torrance. I'm right here on coming down.
Don't just look how fake that 911 audio sounds. Listen to what's being said and listen to how fake that sounds.
Approximately 30 seconds ago, going westbound on 220th from Western, going northbound across the DMV. Stand by for a description of the vehicle. Vehicle is a 2000 Honda Civic, black, and one of the headlights is out. Also stolen from.
Video from a supermarket at 1770 Carson Street shows the stolen Civic entering the parking lot at 7:54 p.m. Just 3 minutes later, 2 other officers arrived and spotted the Civic parked on the east edge of the lot under a large tree. Officer 1 parked behind the Civic and approached from the driver's side. Officer 2 approached the passenger side.
What are you doing here, man? Don't move. Don't move.
Oh, sorry, I'm
Get out of the car.
I didn't mean
Get out of the car.
Like some of this went through and hit him right here in the chest.
Notice that first shot was edited out.
That's consistent with you laying back and it's going down like that. And he rolled over.
What the actual fuck, dude?
Toward the officer to protect himself, to shield himself. You know what I'm saying? When they shot him right here, 2 times right here. Then he like, rolled back over this way towards that way. And then that's when they shot him in the back and in the back of the head. Then they ran back and called for backup.
Which they should have done that. That's the first thing they should have done before they even approached it.
The first thing they should have did was call for backup. You an officer.
Same situation in the video that you were showing, Billy D.
Fire truck wasn't there when we were there all that time.
No, it wasn't. You got your light on because obviously you said that you seen the gun or rifle, so you see where you shoot him at, where you shot him at, right? You see it as an officer. So you see that that's the top of the nerve system and that paralyzed the whole body. So when his legs went into a rest, as they said, his seat is laid back, you can't see the head, and his legs at a rest. You hit him in the top of the nerve system. So this paralyzed everything. That's why his feet was up about a rest and his head was in between the seats. The counsel, it was laid over. You know what I'm saying? Because you shot him in the head. And now that right there, you know what I'm saying? So you went back and then you called for backup. You know what I'm saying? And then that's how all the other officers came. That's how I see it happen from the wounds that's on my nephew's body. You know? And I
So you went to the coroner's office to identify the body?
No,
they showed you pictures?
But I seen them physically.
What point did you see them?
I seen them after
The day before the funeral.
The day before the funeral, after they stitched him up. The day before the funeral, after they stitched him up. That's what I seen. They right there. So that's how I see it happen. And for you to hear my nephew on the recording saying stop, the other officer had to be somewhere nearby where his transmission was chattering to pick it up. You know what I'm saying? He had to be within some feet.
I assumed he was in the car, but I guess he could have been out of the car, you know?
Or he could have been in the car and my nephew was loud. Stop. But as an officer, when and you just shot somebody and they saying stop, 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 and this is a sign of trying to defend yourself.
Yeah.
Stop. So that goes to tell me after the first shot, you had to shoot him somewhere where he can say stop, stop, stop. And if you came in on this side, the left hand, right clavicle area, laid back. You're shooting from right here. They murdered my nephew, my sister's son, at 7:53 p.m. They didn't contact her until 5:20 something a.m. Then the next morning, then she asked to see her son. They just said, okay, well, do you know if he got a tattoo right here on his face? Yeah. What does it say? My name. Okay, that's your son. We didn't physically see my nephew until the day before the funeral, like a day, 2 days before the funeral. You know what I'm saying? So we going through the whole process without even seeing if that's really for sure that's our loved one, just by a tattoo. It's a lot of people out here with the same name, right?
Yeah.
Then when we get here to the scene, we find a projectile with blood on it, and it kind of looks like it's brain matter on it, but we find a projectile.
You're talking about one of those 40. I think they shot him with those 40 millimeter plastic, whatever they are.
Look like a 45. The bullet looks like a 45. I have the bullet.
Okay, you're talking about because they after he was dead, I think they shot him. Then they shot him with some less lethal rounds after he was already dead.
So that explains the burn marks.
The last time that I'm aware of that the Torrance police had a call like, I'm sorry, not like this exactly, but they had a call where maybe they had a reason to do a felony stop or to pay attention, and a situation where they should have not been derelicts, and they showed up and they murdered a guy. So when we heard this call come on the air tonight, Rick and I got here. We didn't waste no time. We came here immediately. At this point, the suspect is alive. At this point, all he did was run. You see the white car there? He ran, okay? That's it. People run sometimes because they want to get away. Sometimes they got to pee. Sometimes maybe they didn't even know they were getting pulled over. It doesn't matter why. What matters is you don't get to kill somebody just because you feel like it, just because maybe they didn't listen or maybe you don't like them. In the case of Christopher DeAndre Mitchell, a cooperative young man that the Torrance police didn't even know, there's absolutely no excuse whatsoever. And that's why we're here tonight, because these Torrance police are too stupid to make a decision when to use force and when to keep their fucking mouth shut, to keep their guns in the holster, keep their bullets where they belong, keep their Bearcat where it belongs. And I'm going to tell you right now, the guy, whoever was running, especially if he was a person of color, which is probably not likely in this neighborhood, but if he is, and even if he's not, running from the Torrance police is completely justified. These fuckers will murder you for no reason, though. There's no limit to every action that police take, whether it's writing tickets, arresting people, from the most irrelevant crime to the most serious crime. Torrance police will do all these things on innocent people just because they feel like it, many times for no reason at all that you can think of or that you can identify. The way it looks right now, I'm going to just guess this might last for a while. The Torrance police would like to knock the walls down, and probably if they had missiles, I'm sure they would like to just drop them, right into the roof. And I see them looking at me right now. Plenty of guys are looking at me, and they're discussing amongst themselves that they're not here alone, that there's somebody here that's going to tell the truth, even when they won't. So my opinion is I could probably go home right now, and they wouldn't know that I did, and it would change everything. It would change their behavior. I'm trying to get a fucking live stream going, which my phone, for some reason, is not cooperating at all. See these kids that are leaving? I'm watching for whoever goes to their car first and disappears, because my opinion is that'll be whoever it was that killed Christopher DeAndre Mitchell. It'll be the guys that get the fuck out of Dodge when they see me here. Okay, so they just went inside, it looks like. There's no need to kill anybody. Nobody's trying to hurt the Torrance police. Nobody, in my 50 years in the city of Torrance, never once have I seen somebody try to hurt the Torrance police. I've seen them hurt many people. I've seen them destroy many lives. I've seen them murder people. Never once have I seen anybody try to hurt anybody for the Torrance Police Department. Not one of their parking enforcement officers, not one of their security guards at the courthouse, not one of their garbage men. I have met plenty of people from the city of Torrance that need to have their ass kicked, but never once have I seen any of them receive the justice that they deserve. And I know the Torrance Police, they know how to do the job right if they want to. In every circumstance, they know how to do the job right if they want to, if they choose to. The problem is with these fuckers is many times they choose to do it wrong because that's what they feel like doing, because that's what they want to do, because there's never a consequence. It's always the victim's fault, except for when they're the victim. And of course, they're always the victim. If they break a toenail, it's never their fault. I wish I could say that I didn't like the Torrance Police or any fucking department for that matter. I care about everybody, so it's not easy for me to dislike or have hard feelings for these cops or any other cops or any other, it doesn't matter, any person really. Unfortunately, it doesn't necessarily go both ways. I don't hear anybody crying, Rick. I don't hear any indication that anyone's being hurt in there. I see them going around from room to room. As far as I can tell, they haven't hurt anybody. Obviously, the guy's scared of the police. He fled to his home. He may have easily went into his home. That don't mean he stayed there. If this person lives here, if they grew up here, I can tell you if it was my home, I would know every route out the backside, through my neighbors' homes, and to wherever I needed to be, to where they wouldn't get me until I felt like turning myself in or whatever the case may be. So I have no idea who their suspect is. But if he's familiar with the neighborhood, it doesn't matter that he lives here. He's probably not in there unless he wants to be. And I don't see anybody coming out. So think about it. You're not going to run from the police, go in and shut the door and think they're not going to find you. It's just as easy as you went in the front door, you could have come out the back. Looks like that's the only person that was in the house, huh? Did they get? I don't see anybody.
Say his name! Christopher DeAndre Mitchell!
Do it again.
We won't know. Say his name! Christopher DeAndre Mitchell! Murdered by Torrance Police Department. Say his name! Christopher DeAndre Mitchell! Murdered by the Torrance Police Department.
I don't think there's anything else here to see. They've already cleared the house. They already got the guy in custody. They're standing around getting their story straight. Liberty Walk, yes, Torrance, California.
All right.
As you see written on the side of the police car.
I don't think there's anything else here, folks. It's a good job. Nobody got killed tonight.
Wow, you guys did such a great job. Thank you so much for fucking being there.
Thank you. Just watching this tears me up now, because I know me and Zebra knew when we arrived at the scenes that this kid wasn't, he didn't deserve to be shot like that. And radio call said he had a handgun, then they switched it to a rifle, then they switched it. Come to find out, he had a one of those airsoft rifles that you have to literally pump up and 500 times before you can even shoot it.
Yeah.
And even though he had it in such a position that the cop could have easily, used other methods to resolve the issue. And instead, his first reaction is, what he was trained to do: shoot first, ask questions later. And the barrel of the right, regardless if it was a real rifle or not, we have the right to keep and bear arms and to defend ourselves and our lives and our liberty. What do we do when we feel that our life is in, danger? Do we not have the right to stand up for ourselves too?
Right.
Do we not have the right to defend ourselves? Do we not have the right to, say, hey, wait a minute, you can't just fucking beat me up on the side of the street like this, motherfucker. I'm going to fight back.
I agree 100%.
It might cost you your life. It might get, or if it don't cost you your life, it might get you 10 years sentence.
Yeah. That's
So
crazy. I gotta share
But
this.
yeah, thank you for watching that video, though. You know,
Good.
I have several videos on the channel like that, and you know, I put a lot of effort into, and you know, I
put
put a lot of editing
a lot
into.
of effort. Holy crap! You've got years doing this now, like 6 years.
Actually, I think the 2012 was the first time I, you know, when I first started recording, and
Dude, it's 2021.
yeah,
Long fucking time, dude.
as that was like the first time I recorded the cop. So I already knew from, you know, my childhood experiences growing up, uh, going through institutions as a teenager, and then from as a teenager straight to the adults. I learned, you know, I I learned a lot about cops and uh, prison guards or whatever you want to call them. You know,
And
they're
the
all the
difference
same.
between what it is that they say they do and what they actually do.
Yeah, I know exactly where they're gonna go with it. You know, when they, you know, look at Rudy Campos' threatening behavior. Get up again and see what happens. It's a direct threat. Direct threat.
100%.
And you know, but they're not gonna look at it. Well, I called them out. I called them out on it. What, you threatening me now? Are you threatening me bodily harm? Oh no, nobody's threatening you bodily harm. But you just told me to get up off the curb again and see what happens. What do you think would have happened if I would have got up off the curb? We all know what the fuck would have happened.
Yeah. And the thing is had you said something like that to him, you would be, and I don't know, in prison for 12 years for fucking indirect fucking jacking off bullshit.
Well, this guy probably has his feelings hurt. You know, first of all, you know, not being used to being criticized or confronted. And people say, "Oh, Rick, why you just cuss out cops like that?" Well, shit, it's not that I'm cussing them out. I'm testing their ability to withstand criticism. You know, hey, if you can't withstand my criticism, you ain't got no business trying to walk around the neighborhood acting like, you know, you're a hero of some sort.
What cracks me up is I know on more than one occasion you've seen a cop doing something that was almost a good thing. I remember before the end of the video, though, you were just like, oh, you fucking fuck, you know, because he had basically, he did that because he knew that you were watching or whatever the fuck it was. I remember you were happy about it, and then you were just like, oh, yeah, he's fake ass. But you have been, like, civil and decent with cops before who have been civil and decent with you. And before the conversation's over, it seems like they all turn to this, I don't know, egotistical fucking, I'm bigger than you and I'm your bully, and no, you know, you've relaxed now, so I'm gonna beat you up kind of attitude.
I recognize that attitude from, you know, pretty much anybody, you know. I mean, we all pretty much know when we feel threatened, you know. It's just a human instincts.
True.
But I think I'm gonna jump off of here and go ride my little scooter around my neighborhood and turn on my scanner and shout "fuck you, Rudy" at the top of my lungs as I go at the top of my lungs as I go down the highway. Fuck you, Rudy. Yeah, fucking Rudy. Thanks for having me on, and I'm sorry that Minnesota guy thinks that I'm closed-minded, but you know, hey, he's entitled to his opinion, and you know.
That's how I feel about it too. I guess so many people here that disagree, and to the point where they just, you know, hate each other. And I think it's cool that he hopped down because he knew he couldn't continue the conversation without getting catching feelings about it and getting
right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, either that or he wasn't for sure about how strong his debate game was. So.
Could be either way.
And I just want to point out that when I first started listening, before I even came on the panel, he said something about joking around about, you know, former police officer background,
He wanted to be a cop. He was going to be a cop, and he made a statement about riding around in an unmarked vehicle, and they pulled a prank on his friend where they pulled him over in the cop car. That shit ain't cool. That shit ain't cool.
What's his name down there in Texas? Oh my God, really? What's his name? Noli, shame on you.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, he gets rolled up on that like that all the time, and it's fucking it scares me every fucking time because the guy does it in the creepiest fucking way, creepiest way possible.
No shit.
It makes me sick to my stomach every fucking time because, well, you know, fucking Slacker carries that rifle around with him all the time.
Wait, who carries a rifle? What?
Fucking I just said his name. God damn it.
The guy that was on here in Minnesota?
No, he does too, yeah, but no,
Black National Forest guy?
210 Slacker, Southside Slacker. He carries that rifle with him all the fucking time. He used to carry it every Sunday. He'd go for a walk with it.
Awesome.
And
he has the right to do so.
Yeah, he does.
You know, I feel like we all have the right to do so. What do you think about a person, say they've done their time, they completed their sentence, they served their punishment for their crime, and their crime wasn't violent, or their crime wasn't in such a manner that it caused severe bodily injury to another person, or they just they get out, they serve their time, and should all of their rights be restored, or do you still say, oh no, you're a convicted felon, you can't have a gun?
I think that high violent criminals need to go through rehabilitation while they're in prison because they're already there. Might as well do it while you're there. Why make them pay extra for it on the outside? That's bullshit. And if they pass, their fucking stipulations and they get off DOC, they should have their fucking goddamn rights back.
Yeah, 100%, but they will never give us that because in their eyes, they see us as individuals that have been sent to an institution that is called rehabilitation, but reality, they know that it is a violent institution that has nothing to do with rehabilitation. And you get out, and you're naturally, for a good while, you're gonna have that same institutional like mentality regardless. And I could tell you that it's taken me so many years to get out of that shit, and there's still certain aspects that's still stuck with me that still haven't left me to this day.
Dude, probably never ever will. I mean, that shit burns into memory.
Right, but so that's why they don't want us, with their rights fully restored, because they know that with they assume that with us having the right now to defend ourselves, we might want to take revenge or retaliation against them. No, not everybody thinks that way. Not everybody feels that way. Not everybody feels that using violence is the resolution to small problems. They don't, like I don't mind, I understand, mutual combat, hand to hand. You two want to go out in the street and you want to resolve your issues, like they used to do back when I was a teenager.
Yeah, right.
And hey, go ahead, go have at it. Don't jump them fucking 15 deep like OGZ. Don't be a OGZ. Let them have at it, and don't. It's just a man's way to solve certain issues. And if your next door neighbor plays his music loud and you don't like it, or has loud disruptive parties, most people, first thing they're going to do is call the cops. Cops are going to show up, and who knows what the fuck will happen. But your next door neighbor, instead of having mutual respect for his neighbor, could probably easily go over there, join the party, and have a great time his fucking self, or
talk to the neighbor and say, hey man, I'm trying to sleep over here. You don't mind if, you can turn your music down, and I'm trying to catch some sleep so I can get up for work in the morning. If your neighbor doesn't respect that and he pops off to you, punch him in the mouth. Problem solved. You don't need to call the cops for every fucking issue that you have.
I agree. Maybe not so much the punch him in the mouth part, but I don't know anybody who wouldn't be like, oh yeah, man, sorry. I've never seen anybody who would just look somebody in the eye and say, fuck off, I don't care if you have to work tomorrow or not. I've never met somebody who would be that way.
No, me either. Me either. It's just the people think that the police are here to solve all of the stupid domestic fucking problems, and it's just an invitation for them to come into your house or into your jurisdiction and do whatever they want to you.
STV's back up Ricky Monday after Officer Rudy Campos' third stop of. Oh, is that a video?
Yeah, that's a live. In a live stream. I got pulled over by Rudy Campos on my bicycle for riding on the sidewalk, and then the little fucker cites me for not having a bicycle registration. I laughed at his fucking face.
That's a thing. Is that really a thing? That's not a thing.
Huh?
I have never ever heard of anything like that before.
What, bicycle registrations?
Yeah.
Me either until I met Rudy Campos.
That's got to be like one of those weird laws. Like here in Aberdeen, you're still supposed to be walking, 200 yards in front of a car, an automobile, to announce to the townspeople that there is an automobile on the road and it's coming down the road. 200 yards in front of it, person has to be walking and like shouting out to everybody, there's a car coming.
Oh yeah, M-Star said, "Happy fuck Rudy Campos Day." No. Today is not Rudy Campos' day. It's Happy fuck Rudy Campos' Mother's Day.
Oh.
Fuck Rudy Campos.
Oh God, I could hear you now going off on him just to fucking get under his skin. Oh yes. You're good at that. Do your mom stuff. It's pretty fucking funny.
Sorry, I got a bad mouth. Yeah.
Oh no, you're fine. You can cuss all you want here. I don't care. Oh, I cuss. I'm bad. I'm really, really bad.
You ever try to invent new cuss words?
No, but I think we made up some code words when we were young for them because we weren't allowed to say them, but we wanted to say them. But I don't remember what any of them are. We had code words. I know we got found out though. I know we got found out because, oh my God, I have this picture on my fucking phone. You got to see this shit.
Jesus Christ.
We were fucking with Eric before he.
Hey, Eric Brandt.
Yeah.
Eric Brandt. I don't understand how the fuck he accepted a plea bargain. Number one, I don't believe that he really. I think something that we don't know about took place because Eric Brandt has too much knowledge in the court system and how it operates to just take a plea like that, unless they were trying to give him a 50-year sentence for a terroristic threat. So he said, all right, fuck it, I'll just go ahead and take the 12. I can see that. But
the thing is that it wasn't the agreement wasn't for 12. The judge raised it.
They what?
The judge raised it.
Oh, so it's not 12 years now?
No, it's 12. It's 12 years. But like he had agreed and signed a plea agreement to bring
his. No, he signed. I don't understand why. Oh, they changed his plea agreement after he signed it.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Does he have proof and documentation of that?
Well, it doesn't matter because they don't have to go with the plea agreement. They tell you when you sign it that the judge.
Well, no, when I signed my plea bargain for both times, that first time going to the joint for punching Rodney Lewis in the jaw and breaking his jaw, a correctional guard, a juvenile correctional officer. I signed a plea agreement, and it specifically states in 3 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, And I have all that information, and they gave me a copy. So
Yeah.
he should have a copy of the plea agreement right after he signs it. There is no, and if they go and they manufacture another plea agreement, there you have a copy that says, hey, this ain't so. So I think they scared the shit out of him in some aspect. And the judge, anyway, I don't know if anybody heard the courtroom tape, but the judge said, I would like to put you in a boxing ring. I have the tape. And he says that I wish I could put you in a boxing ring and let that judge beat the shit out of you like you threatened him. So my understanding is Eric Brandt didn't never say I'm going to kill you and blow your brains out all over your children's face. He merely hoped for it. And hoping in itself isn't a crime. No matter how fucked up that comment is or how you look at it, he did not directly threaten anyone. And then in his sentencing, the judge did the exact same thing that he was being sentenced for. So there's a lot of bullshit taking place in there that we're not even
they were rubbing it in his face. They were rubbing it in his face the whole fucking time. The whole fucking time. They knew what they were going to do. That judge knew before the weekend fucking was over how long he was going to sentence that man to. He didn't hear that testimony. He didn't hear any of that.
He did. See, Eric Brandt's been a thorn in their side. He's filed lawsuit after lawsuit against them, and he's won them. That's like him and Johnny Five-O are probably the only ones, and Tom Zebra are like the only ones that I know that's ever really successfully, filed a lawsuit against any police organization. It's not just that easy to.
William Turner. He took his all the way to federal court.
He's going to have to, but the fact that he signed a plea agreement, he's going to have a whole lot of hard time fighting it unless he has a copy that plea agreement was changed after he signed it.
Oh, yeah, I pulled up the thing on there and it says, hang on, fuck all. So even when accepting a plea agreement, the judge isn't required to accept the sentencing recommendation. When judges refuse a proposed plea bargain, they must follow their jurisdiction's procedure, which usually requires that they identify on the record the reasons for not accepting a deal. So they can change it after,
they can't change. No, they can't. If before he can change that agreement, he has to let him know that he doesn't agree with that proposed agreement, and give him the actual opportunity to change his agreement to not guilty so that he can actually stand trial. You see what I'm saying? Because you can't
I see what you're saying, and I think that it should be done that way too.
No, I mean that's the way that I've seen it done in my experience.
I'm trying to think about my plea agreements, but I mean the judge actually stuck to all the recommendations, so because it's the prosecutor who gives the recommendation, and then the judge makes the decision on the recommendation.
Well, the judge. I mean, if it goes like that, the prosecutor can easily manipulate the scene all into their favor, especially if they have personal relationship ties with the judge.
Did you? You wouldn't have been able to see them. You should have seen them fucking bitches grinning when that judge fucking started reading off the sentencing.
Yeah, he was.
Face. It was fucking gross, dude. It was fucking.
And it doesn't matter what the fuck he said. Okay, he has the right to say whatever he wants to say as a human being.
Exactly.
And the judge doesn't get to make that decision to say, oh no, you can't say that, I'm putting you in prison. No, there's something entirely wrong with that whole fucking picture, that whole scenario. Just as I've met Eric Brandt once, and
Yeah, happy fuck the cops day, but that dude was on another level.
Yeah, he is.
No,
And, he's got one of the biggest hearts I've ever fucking seen in my life. He tried to say he ain't never done nothing for nobody. He ain't never helped nobody. And I'm just like, dude, are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?
they haven't seen the videos of him going out handing out food and cigarettes and every day in the homeless park
Fighting
where
for
they
Janet to keep her
where he
ability
was
to
banned,
speak.
he was trespassed from.
Oh yeah, when they were taking the fucking blankets away from the homeless and shit.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's so fucking disgusting, dude.
Yes, they and Eric Brandt's been a thorn in their side. He's been arrested so many fucking times, but he hasn't been arrested for anything felonious. He never committed a crime. Everything that they've ever arrested him for was, you know, uh, uh, was disorderly conduct or all type of
bullshit charges.
resisting arrest, all different kinds of manufactured made up bullshit.
I agree.
So he's been a thorn in their side from day one, and he's filed lawsuit after lawsuit against them, and he's won those lawsuits.
Right.
And for that, the district attorneys and the state and those judges are real pissed off at him for that. So they took this opportunity for nothing but pure retaliation, Rudy Campos style, but worse.
Yeah, they're fucking disgusting, and the looks on their faces and shit. And that judge that went up there, that was there in person to testify, he fucking chapped my ass so fucking bad when he was sitting there. Just the arrogance about him was just so thick. And then he was trying to be like, I'm a poor guy, da da da, I can relate. But no, you can't, dude.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Well,
he was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. Bullshit. He cannot relate.
Yeah. You can't. I mean, you can try to feed somebody with a silver spoon, but the food ain't worth eating. What you gonna swallow it for?
Right.
Oh, and I can tell you that if it ever comes down to me being in Eric Brandt's position, let this be my testimony. I will never plead guilty for something that I haven't done. I would never. If I didn't do that shit, I'm not pleading guilty. I learned that on my second conviction. Possession of a firearm after former conviction. My ex-wife's rusty old 22 Ruger that was in her panty drawer.
Oh my god, it probably didn't even fire or anything, huh?
According to their test labs, it fired.
I don't believe him.
I didn't.
I wouldn't even dare test a fucking goddamn rusty gun.
Well. Besides the point, they had no probable cause to be at my residence to begin with. They knocked on the door, asked to make entry. I declined. I attempted to close the door. Officer Darren Martin, bitch ass, sticks his foot in the door, preventing me from closing it. Calls some backup. We're arguing back and forth for a few minutes. Not even, I don't know, 45 seconds later, another sergeant, what was his name? He shows up and it's like, just show us your ID, and if you don't have any warrants or anything. And I knew that I knew that they really couldn't do this, but I didn't have any warrants. I had just cleaned everything up. I've been out at that time. I've been out of prison maybe 6 years, 7 years, and no, it's 2003. This happened in 2007, so I had been out about 4 years, and I agreed with them. I turned to go back to turn my back. I was like, well, let me close my door. He's like, nah, we just want to watch you from here. So I was like, all right. As I let go of the door and I turned my back to go to the room to get my ID for them, they barged in, put the guns to the back of my head, forced me onto the ground. All the officers came in, closed the door behind them, and locked it, and put the safety chain across the door, and then put me in handcuffs, and then began ransacking my house as one stood beside me, and just tore my house apart. They found her gun, my ex-wife's gun, in her panty drawer, and because I'm a convicted felon, I'm not allowed to be in immediate access of a firearm. So they arrested me for that, and they found some marijuana seeds in the refrigerator, and they found a 1 gram of back in the days it was it was hydro. It was the fancy weed. It was like $50 a gram. My ex-wife was at work, so I hadn't smoked because I had just got it, and I was waiting on her to get home from work so that we could smoke together when she got home. And they're in their police report. They state that the I smelled that the house smelled like marijuana when they arrived, which is completely false because they didn't find no burnt marijuana roaches, no paraphernalia, no bongs, no blunts, no light. I didn't even have a lighter in the house.
That's
So right, so and I didn't have a gas stove. I had one of those bitch ass electric stoves. So what the hell, right? So they Darren Martin, they charged me for possession of a firearm at the former conviction, and I stood up there in court, and Noli D, I'll go through the public records. I trust you with my personal information, so I'll go through my public records, and I'll send you the court documentation of this shit that I'm talking about. How I stood up there in court, I filed my own motion to suppress evidence based on the fact that they didn't have no probable cause to make entries to my residence. Judge threw that request to suppress the motion of evidence out, the motion of discovery. They threw it out. Next time you come back, you better have a lawyer. I would come back 3 months later. Mr. Penzon, where's your lawyer? I don't got one. Where's the interpreter? I can barely hear you. I'm playing the game right along with the court system.
Good.
And so you better have a lawyer the next time you come back. Come back 3 months later. Where's your lawyer? I can't afford one. Well, we're gonna appoint you one. No, thank you. I don't want your lawyer that's gonna work for you and not for me.
Yep.
And they didn't like that. You could see Amy McPhail is her name, and I told her, I said, hey, they didn't have no reason to come to my house to begin with. This bitch wouldn't even file a motion to suppress. She's like, are you sure you want to go to trial? You go to trial. You go to trial, you're gonna get 10, 15 years. I was like, no, we're going to fucking trial. Fuck you. I ain't going back to jail for something I didn't do. So we went all the way up to pretrial. They let the judges get up there and the testimony. I mean, the cops get up there, Darren Martin and the other officers that had showed up, and read the police report on the fucking on the jury stand, on the witness stand. And I'm telling my lawyer, hey, you just gonna let them sit up there and read that on the witness stand like that? She's like, who's the lawyer, me or you? I'm like, bitch, didn't act like one.
I agree.
She didn't do anything for me, so they call a recess and they come back. They're like, "Well, Ricky, we're gonna make you this one-time offer. We'll give you 5 years suspended sentence with no jail time. If you complete this, if you 5 years suspended sentence, and we're gonna run it concurrent with a 3-year sentence for the possession of marijuana, which was less than a gram, but they call it a they highlight it as marijuana, but they called it a substance schedule 3 narcotics, schedule 1 narcotics, right? Whatever. Yeah, for marijuana back then. So it was like, we're gonna run those concurrent, and if you go 6 months on probation without fucking up, pass all your drug tests, and we'll give you the option to go on unsupervised probation. So 6 months later, I was on unsupervised probation. I never got arrested again.
That unsupervised probation, how is that even, like, I don't get it.
Unsupervised probation, I left Oklahoma and moved back to California, still on unsupervised probation. I didn't even tell my probation officer. I just packed my shit up and left. Fuck you. And I came here to California, and I never got any trouble. And Oklahoma, they discharged the probation sentence, but they now I have warrants in Oklahoma County for non-payment of court costs.
They should not be able to fucking jail you for that.
Exactly. Yeah, but I have warrants in Oklahoma County for non-payment of court costs. Guess what? Good luck. I ain't never gonna pay that shit.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I won't. There's probably $11,000 of court costs and court fees and fucking bullshit they want me to pay. I paid all of it, but that. Fuck you. That was not my charge. You guys fucked me over. I'm not paying it. And I know I was going to bite myself in the ass. I'm just biting myself in the ass for it later. I should pay it because up here they can send you back to prison, not jail, but prison for not paying it.
There's something called us not paying the court system. This is actually a civil issue. This is not a criminal issue.
Oh, okay. See, mine was criminal, but it wasn't.
Well, your charge is criminal. Yes, your charge is criminal, but the fact that you owe the court money for any given reason, for any whatever services that the courts have rendered you, to prosecute you and make you pay, for your own prosecution.
Right, you will pay.
And it doesn't make sense to pay for your own prosecution. It doesn't make sense to cough up thousands of dollars to the court system to satisfy the judges lavish lifestyles and the district attorney's lavish lifestyles and all the other shit that they want to do with the money. And it's a civil infraction. That's like, let's say I owe you $1,000, or say I owe eBay $1,000, okay? And
$1,000.
Yeah, how do you owe eBay $1,000? I just got off the phone with eBay. eBay, PayPal. But let's just say you owe PayPal $1,000, and they say, "Oh, you need to pay me that, or we're gonna lock you up." No, they don't work that way. You have to take me to civil court, and you have to try me in civil court and give me civil charges, and we have to settle in civil court. It's because it's not a criminal matter.
Interesting.
You see what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It doesn't make sense to pay for your own prosecution.
It doesn't make sense at all.
But people do, like I didn't pay no probation fees. I got out probation without paying any probation fees.
Is it really expensive down that way?
My PO, he signed off on my restitution hours. And I never did 1 hour of restitution.
Wow. You fucking spoiled motherfucker.
I'm not gonna let the system just abuse me like that. I'm not gonna let the system just take advantage of me like they do everybody else. I'm gonna fight the system until I drop. I'm gonna lose, of course, but hey, at least I went down with a fight.
True, I agree. I really, I have a bug up my ass with this jury nullification thing. I really want to go and pass out fucking flyers. I feel the jury nullification thing. I really feel like I should go pass out flyers.
Yeah, I mean,
tomorrow's Monday, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, hey, I'm gonna bounce off of here too, and I'm gonna try to get. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take my ass out there for a ride. I want to go for a ride.
Okay.
So I want to cause a disruption somewhere.
I'll send you that picture of Eric. It's fucking hilarious.
Hell yeah! All right. Later, Rudy. Thank you for having me on, Noli D. And fuck you, Rudy Campos.
Fuck you, Rudy.
Fucking bitch, Rudy. Eat a dick, Rudy. 2 of them.
Yeah. Oh, gotta love that guy. Gotta love him. You drive safe, or I know you got a Mom's Day thing going on, Lady Justice. Thank you so much for hanging out and just fucking hanging out forever. We'll have to do a girls' night or something and make all the boys fucking listen to us. The boys here are pretty great. None of us see eye to eye on everything. I have to say it's not, for me anyway, it's not always worth it to disagree because I know I can get to them other ways. And I have, and I do. And I think I do a pretty darn good job of it too. But I think that a better understanding. I think my issue as far as like the whole conversation that has happened today would be, I don't like the idea of denying somebody their experience. My trauma, my worst trauma, and your worst trauma, no matter what it is, still your fucking worst, right? Just because it is, you know, this person's experience of the very worst and mine experience of the very worst, doesn't really mean that they're still equal, though. There's a piece of information missing from the brain for understanding to happen, so that true empathy can happen. And my girlfriend Rochelle going through all this shit that she went through, I mean, I could never deny her that experience. I just couldn't. I can't. And I needed to be there for her. And that was something that I wanted to say like hours and hours and hours ago. So it probably doesn't matter now, but for me it does. For me it does, for sure. Because I can't, like I said, I can't relate to what she was going through completely, because it's on a different fucking level. On a way different fucking level. And just because I can empathize doesn't mean that I can fully grasp and understand. But I am smart enough to recognize when somebody is hurting so bad that they can't take it no more, and they just need familiarity. They need somebody who they can talk to, who they know is going to understand what they're going through. Not try to fix it, just listen. And I think we all need that person sometimes. But I love you guys. I'm gonna jump out. I'm not even going to bother trying to play a fucking song. I will practice though. I will practice. I love you guys. Fucking do something awesome for somebody today. And if it's too late, do it first thing in the morning. And if you can't see anybody, do something awesome for yourself. Even if you're a dude, a pedicure feels great. Just do it. I love you guys, and I will see you pick a live stream. I'll be there.